So that's it's not shape or the cancer may fall out, but it's
I honestly wanted to learn about that.
Michael, connected with you on LinkedIn today.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so you were speaking, so I reached out.
Oh, that's great. Well, hey, thank you.
That was my first time at one of these. I work with a company called Jump Chance. British company.
Alright, Aaron, power up A7S. It should already be exposed and ready on the screen.
it's all that is hard.
I just keep it on. Everyone's got a good thing. Oh, okay.
Hey, I just saw your video. Here. You know what? I got distracted at the phone ring.
Like the American that's like, oh my god, you're from BC.
Oh, you can add it. That stream is good. It's good. I'm literally on purpose blowing this out because the text is black. Did you power and power? Fourth guy? Go Argos!
Excellent. Excellent. Who else is
So you just like grab the bottle?
You are so inappropriate. I know. That's why I love you. Hey,
I am one of the talkers. I am one of the all right. Talk about handling web leads then?
Web leads.
Internet. Well, don't you know? The only people that say web leads suck are the ones that are handling web control. Yeah, right? It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. Almost. Awesome. That's a big I know. I love it. I promise. There's not anyone in this room who has heard web leads suck. They don't convert. Nobody gets down. Nobody's heard that one of me. Like, I'm telling you, that's why I say it to myself all the time. You know what? You're too damn good at handling them. You got forum videos. Anytime you got it. Quick camera.
was up in one call. Okay, so what's your closing? 80% closing ratio. Great. I'm gonna put a camera on you. We're gonna watch it. Yeah, right. Is it up? What? Wow. I'm not actually. I'll do this process. Well, that's what we want for training for that. Our sales force literally, it's not just like recording calls. So we literally record the person making the call and have the because it's like that. Yeah, I mean, it's like in sports, you got your behaviors you do when you have the puck, and there's what you're doing without. One of those levels is one thing about, and then if you want to refine fun, have it when it's nice to think, okay, where did you walk? What would you base that on? Last thing is in your cubicle, and I take my phone and be on Amazon. What do you blast the cubicle? You between 12 and before them watching videos and they have the couch. Pretty solid way to and basically, you're doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to.
I need you to go upstairs and sit in the office until every CRM meeting is answered. Basically, the second basically is all your tasks up.
Yeah.
So there's no monitors on either camera. You can't get some so I have to reset that's my way or my way. Yeah, Ostiguy. You definitely heard yeah, absolutely. And that's just the thing, like everything's so monetized nowadays, unless you're providing experience, unless you're adding the personal value, getting the water, otherwise it's just a spray and play approach. Wherever you want. Oh yeah, don't get around it. That's what parking is for, right? You got a line with it. Oh, that's good. I think it just started in cold. Hey, we're London? I used to be general sales manager with yeah, I'm not sure. I believe. I'll take some more shots. Yeah, we don't think that's like a regional sales. That's far away.
I'll just stand on that side.
Yeah, exactly. And then JP just going to pass you the Because you needed the link. Okay. Yeah, we Aaron.
guys are smart ones. Mic check. Did you take the trainers? Who's recording? Just the train. Yes. Everyone here that got on time took the train. Jason, you want me to? Yeah, if you don't mind. I want to fill this side over here, and this side over there first. That way, when they come in, they're not in the shot.
Check. My on mic sound good?
I'm not looking right now.
Okay then.
So wrong.
Again? Check. Hello. Ring the boom. Test.
Can I get some of that drink?
We're good to go?
1 second.
Sweet! Oh, shit.
Wait, I say
When
that.
I was a boy,
Oh no.
many years ago.
Looking at traffic right now.
What rating do we put on this? Boost him, AJ, is it up in ISO? No, he's good. He's our far guy up. How far?
Two notches ISO.
Oh.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, grab my spot. Sweet.
I don't know.
No, here they are. Hold it down.
This one.
Yeah. For the live audience, we're going to be getting started just in a couple seconds. So you got me for a few seconds.
Now, I wish I could do the the floss. Yeah, so inappropriate. I want to be an American Ninja Warrior. I repossessed my pen. So for everybody in the room in attendance, we're a little bit light right now with the Raptors game and the MLS soccer here, and of course the Blue Jays game, and Jason here. Traffic's a little bad, so we're going to be filling in the room. But for the live audience, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. My name is JP Ostiguy. I am unfortunately your MC for the event. I am, Jason and I go way back when he used to be the director of operations of the group I work at, right? Sorry about that. You left because of me, right? Yes. Yeah, okay. So today's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot going on. We have, this is like Game Changer number 6 year. Is this right? 9 years. Jeez. I'm dyslexic. So I'm numeric dyslexic. It's a real thing. Look it up. So today we got cool things going on. We have, of course, from the US, the rebirth of social media, trademark. John Ressureccion here, selling cars like candy bars. We've got Dan Liska, internet guru, who's going to teach us how to better communicate with the online customer in today's day and age and why it's so important. And of course, I don't know why they call it, but my boy, Jason Harris, is bringing us about communication, about media, and about marketing and what we need to do. That's what's going to happen today. So first of all, let's give it up for the 3 guys that are on call today. So a little bit about me, because you're going to get to hear this for 10 minutes because no one else is here. A little bit about me. I joined the automotive world back in 2008 after a career of being in a professional bass fisherman. Yes, I fished for a living, drove around the States in my truck. It sounds like a real luxurious lifestyle. You're poor and you live in your truck. That's pretty much what it is. And you're in a town of, excuse the expression, butt-fuck nowhere, and you're like, your sponsors are watching, you're like, you just blown your boat up. You got to be in Texas the next day, which is 5,000 miles away. You're like, I think they're fucking, this is great. I love this. Like, why the fuck am I doing this? So, automotive business seemed like a good fix, right? Seemed like a good area for me to drop into. So I've done that. I was a stand-up comedian, professional stand-up comedian for 2 years, where I actually got paid to basically do what I'm doing now, but funnier. And I fell into that too. Went to have fun at playing rugby. Went to support a friend's sister, wanted to be a comedian. Went to an open mic night, and some hack of a MC made her cry. And so I heckled him. I don't heckle anybody except for Jason. And he said, "You think it's so easy? You get up here." And I was like, "Sure." And my friends were like, "Oh shit." And I spoke for 45 minutes. You know that red light? It blinks. I thought you're doing a great job. Keep going. It means get the fuck off the stage. Get the fuck off the stage. I walked off, and the MC came up to me. "You was great, man. We'll pay your bar tab." I said, "I don't drink." He said, "Perfect." And that's kind of how I fell into that. And then the car business, man. The car business is awesome. It is a way for us to communicate and talk about really complex things to people who have better knowledge than we do, because they spend 16 to 20 hours online looking at stuff, dreaming, pricing, investigating, comparing, watching videos. So today's so important, and what today's going to bring out to all of us and our audience at home, most of them from California, thank you for tuning in, is going to be just the understanding of why this business is so important and why our customers need a better experience going forward. It's so important. Who's in automotive in the room? Actually sells cars in the room. We got a couple guys? Good. And Nick, I know you for a long time. What makes it difficult in today's environment?
Competition.
Competition?
Price. There's one thing after the other. One big thing is reputation, and that's something that is starting to change with branding yourself and doing things in a different way.
Perfect. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we're in a respectable industry, and we're delivering a need for every consumer out there.
Absolutely. You can't buy cars online 100% yet. You still got to legally fill out forms, learn about the vehicle. You can't learn everything by video, because I've seen the houses people build off YouTube. Ugh. They're horrible, and you just got into the business. So what do you see happening?
Right now it's a numbers game, right? It's just who can give the lowest price, who can give me the lowest price, but we're not really separating ourselves from the rest.
You're right. Exactly. That's exactly right. Now, one thing is, if I don't give, come on in. If I don't give a 100% perfect experience where I'm able to throw a strike every single time and give that person 100% of my attention, my energy, my empathy, what happens? The calculator on your screen comes out going, "Can you just give me the price? And you know what? My wife's going to love you. I'm going to take my get out of jail free card, and I'm going to talk to you later. Thank you so much." Right? So it's important that we understand and have empathy for our customers. Buying cars sucks. It does. Customers hate it. I can buy a house faster than I can buy a car. Right? Except for the paperwork and the nightmare on when you get there and the pool's gone. It wasn't in the contract. It's really important that you offer the customer 100% of your attention, 100% of your empathy, 100% of your understanding. Because when we leave the showroom, what happens to us? We become customers. And what do we complain about? "Oh, that guy's a dick. That guy didn't take care of me." As salespeople, aren't we easier sales than everybody else? Yeah, because we like being taken care of. It's so important. right? So today is going to be fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have laughs. And we're going to talk about networking. We're going to talk about video. We're going to talk about internet. We're going to talk about marketing. And something else I haven't figured out what to say yet. We're going to have fun. And LinkedIn, I know I was going to do that. Waiting for more audience. So, my own business is called How to Engage. It's HAO to Engage. And that is a networking company. I teach entrepreneurs and people how to communicate and network. And I always bring a couple hacks to, besides these guys, a couple hacks to the group. So for networking, I want everyone to take out their phones. Who is not on LinkedIn? Oh, sweet. We're all on LinkedIn. Everyone take out their phones. And I want everyone to open their LinkedIn. And everyone live. And the thousands listening at home, please. Okay? I want you to go. Does everyone know how to view their profile? If you don't know, raise your hand. You at home too? I can't see you. But you at home, look at your profile. Click your little picture, log in, look at your little picture, and view profile. Cool? Everyone doing that? What does your title say? Your subject line? What does your subject line say? Your company, Bulldog. Okay? Is that who you are? That's who you are. It's not a title. Okay? Nick, what does yours say? You've been to the last one. Okay, what does yours say?
Marketing manager at New Roads.
Sweet. Now, is that what you are or what you do?
I guess a little bit of both, isn't it?
Well, it's not who you are. It's what you do, right? So if you want more views for your LinkedIn, more connections, and remember, LinkedIn is a professional social platform. Social is the key word there. So do I want to connect with a manager? Or do I want to connect with someone who's dynamic, decisive, enthusiastic, fun? I want to connect with that guy or girl, lady. I don't know what the correct term is, lady. That's what you want to do. So change your profile. Start taking your titles out of it because there's thousands. I search manager. You're going to come up anyway because of your script, right? But if I want to actually meet you and to decide to learn from you, I want to connect with a person, not a title, right? Especially with anyone have those pictures that aren't professional? They're like the wedding photo with the woman's cut out of it or the man's cut out of it. So make sure your photo is professional. That'll help you out a lot. And don't put your resume. Don't put just your titles, what you've done. Break down your achievements, your losses, your victories, not just the job titles going down the list. That'll really help people connect with you and understand. All right? John is going to talk about video later, so I'll leave that to him. Secondly, one of the fun things I have, new phone. Everyone go to LinkedIn again. And you see the little guy at the bottom? Everyone at home, you can't do this because this won't work, but you'll see it. The little guys at the bottom, your little network. Click on the little network. Okay? When that comes up, when it does come up, you see where it says Find Nearby at the top? So everyone got that? So go to your network, the little guys at the bottom. Little guys at the bottom. Click on Find Nearby. Very top, Find Nearby. You got to enable it. So Find Nearby. You're going to start being able to populate everyone in the room. All right? This is the fastest way for you to grow your network at a convention, at an event, anything else. This will only work when you turn on, when everyone else turns it on, but this will actually allow the group to immediately acknowledge you, grow, you can start hitting people. All right? That's the easiest way. If I don't appear and I got a new phone, just trying to figure it out. But you can literally go to a conference and look like a god speaking in front of everybody because no one knows how to do this, right? So Find Nearby, have everyone do it, and you can all get connected immediately. It's faster than entering people's stuff in, all right? That's one networking hack. The last networking hack I'm going to give you before we get on with the show is look at the bottom of your feed. Go back to your profile. Go back to your profile and scroll all the way down to the bottom of your feed. So of your, sorry, your personal profile. Open your profile. And scroll. What do you see at the bottom? People also viewed, yeah. You know what people also viewed means? Your competition. So on a desktop, it shows right here. Right? On your phone, it shows at the bottom. You want to know why that sucks? Say I'm looking for a doctor and you're a doctor. I want to look at people also viewed other doctors. If I click on that other doctor, am I ever coming back to see you again? No. In your settings, you can turn off people also viewed. You are advertising for people in your line of work. On your LinkedIn automatically puts it on. You can turn that off in your settings. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? People also viewed is a detriment to your business. It doesn't help you be found more. It doesn't help your search. It helps their search. Turn yours off. In your settings, you want to show later, I'll talk to you about it later in the break, and we'll go over some of the ideas of it. But, you know, throughout the night, we're going to talk about some networking hacks. We're going to talk about video. We're going to talk about fun. So, without further ado, our first speaker of the night came all the way from California and Disney. And stood me up on my show today, by the way. Yeah, it's
3-hour difference.
yeah, 3-hour difference. Yeah, yeah, long night. I don't know what you were doing in Toronto. There's a lot of entertainment. He was very nice and cold hands, but so come on in. Come on in, guys. Thanks so much for coming. Hello. So, if people aren't on LinkedIn or on social media and you haven't heard of this guy, I'd be blown away because, come on in, guys. Come on in. So, with the rebirth of social media, and social media is a bunch of stuff. The rebirth of social media and everything out there, you want to get noticed. John Ressureccion is your man. And his name is Ressureccion. God! His name is Ressureccion. He is buying cars, selling cars like candy bars, right? And he's going to bring the energy today like no other. Please, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all ages, put your hands together for John Ressureccion.
Hey!
Woo!
Hey! Mama, look, I made it! I made it, Mom! How's it going, everybody? Awesome. Let me get it all set up here. JP made me go live, so I'm going live. Hey, there you go. How do I get set up in this thing here? All right. Before we start, don't give me shit that I'm from California. I'm not a Golden State fan, okay? I'm originally from the East Coast, so the Wizards are my team. So I almost got stabbed. I was in downtown Toronto. I'll give you a quick story. I was in downtown Toronto, just doing some video and getting some content. And everyone found out that I was from California. So I went to a shoe store, and they were all giving me shit. So I said, okay, no problem. But I'm not a Golden State fan. So the manager of the shoe store came out and says, you're in Canada. The Raptors are playing tomorrow. You have to represent. So I said, okay, well, what does that mean, Mr. Manager, Mrs. Manager? She says to me, I'm going to give you a gift straight from Toronto. I says, okay, so what is it? Make sure when you do your speaking, you put this hat on, and I will represent the Raptors today. There we go. Hey, California, I'm sorry, baby, I'm in Toronto. All right? That's called street smarts, people, street smarts. Nevertheless, folks, I appreciate Jason here and JP, but before we start, I'm going to do a quick video for you guys. A lot of people, if you don't know who I am, I'm constantly on social media, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm all over the thing. Some people call me obnoxious, but I just like to think that I'm very passionate in what I do, and I want to bring awareness to the game. So we're going to start off by going, are we on here, on this thing here? What are you doing? Isn't the Rogers Center like Sprint? Yeah. Roger, right? Yeah. I got to talk to Mr. Rogers because they got poor connection for Wi-Fi. That's okay. Are we on there? So we're gonna have a bunch of fun. I had came in yesterday, spent a lot of time with Jason, and after this, we'll talk about the detours that we had. It was pretty interesting. I felt like I was gonna die. Had a homeless lady knock on the window while I was in the car in traffic, so that was pretty interesting. But nevertheless, we're gonna get this going here, okay? So again, selling cars like candy bars. We're gonna get this popping, and we're gonna start with a quick video. Hopefully, you guys enjoy.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, John Ressureccion again here. We are selling cars like Canada. Yes, like Canada. We are here, and thank you guys for allowing me to come out here and to bring some heat, bring some knowledge, bring some value to you and your team. Nevertheless, thank you, Jason Harris. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone in all of Canada for bringing me out here from California to come join you guys here at the Game Changer. But before we start anything, it's only right to do the national anthem. Now, I'm not talking about the American national anthem. I took some time to learn the Canadian national anthem. It was a little bit difficult, so nevertheless, I kind of flipped it. So nevertheless, let's give it a go. Hit it, DJ.
All right, let's stand up. We're going to do the national anthem, folks. All right, let's do this. Don't get offended. I'm not a singer, I promise you. Selling cars, professional love.
With all our customers' demand.
Yes.
With growing sales, we see the rise. The truth grows strong and free. From small or large, customer will stand
On the point for thee, yes. Hold our gross.
Glorious to be. Customer, we stay on point for thee. Customer, we'll stay on point for thee.
Give it up! Yeah! Canada! Let's go, Canada! Let's go, Raptors and Blue Jays! And all the things that you guys do out here. There it is.
Now that we got that one out of the way, it's a little bit different, folks. See, videos like this, we're going to make it happen. I'm going to teach you guys how to do videos like this for your staff, for your own brand, for your business, and not even have to sweat it. See, typically what ends up happening is that we don't want to stay consistent because it takes too much time. Well, I'm here, folks, to save you all the time and make you all the money. And we're going to do a little bit through social media when it's all said and done. So, first things first, rule number 1, have your phones out. Rule number 2, make sure you're going on live on Facebook or Instagram. Spread the awareness. It's all about connecting, going digital, letting people know what's going on for the masses. Okay? So make sure you guys are on there. I'll wait. Got your phone out? JC got your phone out? JP, Dan, phone out? Live? Are we live now? Are we going live? We are live. We are live now. All right, folks. Let's get this show on the road. And again, thank you, Jason. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Dan, for having me out here in Toronto, Canada. Let's have a ball. Late?
Pretty fun, huh? Pretty fun, right? Yeah, I lost a lot of sleep trying to put that one together. Yep, old Canada, right? Okay, how do I get out of this one? It was so good I wanted to replay it. Was this going to allow me to go? Here we go. This is what I had the problem at right here. Let's go escape. Let's go here. Is it this one? Click over. I typically don't do slides, but I'm doing slides for you. They said it's mandatory. I was kidding. I know it's not mandatory. Go to Game Changer. There you go. My man, 100 grand. So, Exposure Truth. So my company initially, well, not initially, my first company is selling cars like candy bars, right? Basically bringing the awareness to the game. Been in the auto industry about 15 years. I started from a salesperson all the way up to a general sales manager of a Ford and Mazda dealership. So I'm very proud Filipino. So for those that are the Filipinos, welcome. We've made it. We're on top. We're here we're changing the game, okay? So, but the exposure truth aspect, I want you guys to see who I really, really am. And that's one of my other things. My other company is called Exposure Truth. And that's anything else that's out of the automotive industry. See, what ended up happening is I was doing videos and I was giving motivation and I was training and I was teaching people things here and there, how to get better. I found out that a lot of people that were outside of the automotive industry wanted to hear my voice a little bit more. They wanted me to help them basically expose their truth. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about getting comfortable with uncomfortable. And I think that's where we are missing the boat as far as we're getting some people that still don't understand social media. And I understand why, because no one's really teaching it. They're just saying, you have to do social media. You got to promote yourself, right? But promoting yourself before was going to the grocery stores, hanging out and handing out business cards. That was promoting yourself, right? Some of your old dogs that have done it have gone to networkings, powwows, those type of things. And that was the only way for people to really know who you were. Now with social media, the game is completely changed. You can literally make a quick video like this, obnoxious as it may be. It got you guys laughing, right? You guys started saying, oh, this guy might be something, right? So I got your attention at that point. So this is where Exposure Truth, but I'm gonna take it all the way back. I'm originally from Fort Washington, Maryland, which is right next to Washington, D.C. I am the youngest of 4 brothers. My father was in the military. My mother was a nurse, which is your typical combination of a Filipino family. Military and nurses. They're probably out here in Canada too, military and nurses. And they have a lot of kids, and I was the youngest of 4. But nevertheless, after I was in Maryland, I ended up flying out to California. I went to San Diego State, which at the time when I went, the last 3 to 4 years while I was in there, it was ranked #1 in Maxim magazine as the #1 party school in the nation. I probably contributed to that, right? I went out there to go play golf, that type of thing. And as I was in college, I ended up having my first child very early. So it kind of threw my detour of what the plan was, is to get my degree. I had to make money. It was just customary in our culture that you take care of your family. So I got out of it. But because I played golf and I loved that game, I was actually a manager at it was a golf, American Golf. And they own about 200 to 300 golf courses around the country. And when I was in there, they were going through the big slump where the economy was hitting and everyone was losing jobs, losing money. So they started closing a lot of the golf courses down. And so why does that do anything with my truth? What ended up happening was a lot of the members that went to these golf courses were all GMs, all owners of car dealerships. So I got to know these guys quite a bit. And when they found out that I had my first kid, they said, when are you going to start making some real money? Being at the pro shop, being a professional golfer as far as teaching people how to play the game doesn't pay the bills, especially as a young guy like you. I was 21 when I first had my first daughter. And I said, well, I don't know anything about the car industry. So one of the sales guys that was going there quite often, he ended up bringing his paycheck to me. He says, John, you might want to reconsider. Here's my paycheck. And I looked at it and I said, holy shit. How much is that? He says, I did that on 10 cars. 10 cars? I could sell 10 cars. This is easy, right? So I got out of the golfing industry and I ended up going to the car dealership game. I was at a Nissan dealership. And in California, right? In California, and specifically in San Diego, it's been monopolized. There's one owner that owns, there's 7 Nissan dealerships in San Diego. One owner owns 6 of them. I worked at the other Nissan dealership. Yes, the other Nissan dealership. And I didn't know any better, right? It just so happened that the general manager at the time said, come to my dealership. I would really want to train you and show you the game of the auto industry and see if you can really do it. I see something special in you. I think that was a close, right? So Nevertheless, I said, okay, not a problem. As I got into business, I kept doing it, right? I was in there, I was number one, I was, I don't want to boast, but I was crushing it, right? I was making a lot of good money that time. Then my second child came, then my third child came. Now remember, I am the youngest of 4 boys. I ended up with 3 girls. How does that happen? I do not know, but I love them all to death. I was married at the time, and one of the biggest things that I wanted to go through as far as the auto industry in California, which is probably different in Canada, but I know in the States it's a little bit different. In California, they don't close for anything. They close one day out of the year, and that's Christmas. Every day after that, they're open. They're open from 8:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock, and if you got that late deal, you're there till what time? Probably midnight. Right? Because the transaction time typically takes 2 to 3 hours, or 2 hours, 3 hours. And then after, if you're like me, I'm going to get every testimonial I can and every photo with that customer to promote myself. I'll get out at by midnight. Well, the wife at the time didn't agree with that. Didn't matter how much money I was bringing. She was pissed. She was stuck home with 3 girls. So, needless to say, it ended up in a divorce. Right? That's the truth reality of who I am. And at that time, with my divorce, it was probably the hardest time of my life. When you feel that you have done everything you can to provide for your family, because that's what we're here for, or to feed that lifestyle that we all love with the nice watches, the 3-piece suits that cost $500, and going to the fancy dinners and buying whatever you want, realistically didn't matter at the time for the previous wife. So it was a hard time. This truth that I wanted to do, because I've been promoting this thing very, very, very heavy. During that time of my divorce, I went through a very, very dark stage in my life. And I'll get to why this is relevant to what we're doing here. I tried to commit suicide 3 times. Okay? I popped up a bottle of aspirin, 20 of them at one time. Woke up, saw nothing. I literally was done. The next time, and it was some other stuff, I just was in a very, very, very bad place. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just letting you know that no matter what the dark stage or how uncomfortable some situations may be, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's times where you have to really get uncomfortable, like social media. That's what the big fight is right now. We don't need social media. Well, you might want to reconsider. And after all of this stuff, we should be okay to do it. But nevertheless, left San Diego, went through my dark stage, ended up going to Santa Barbara where I became a general sales manager out there for a Ford and Mazda dealership, which was only doing about 40 to 50, maybe 60 cars a month. Now for you guys, you're probably laughing. That's terrible. But it's in Santa Barbara, which is, I don't know if you guys know Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is where Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres and all those high-end type of people go there. The Ford and Mazda dealership was actually in the middle of every high-end vehicle you can think manufacture. From your Teslas, from your Mercedes, from your Porsche, from your Lambos, everything you could think of, but we were right there at the point. We ended up, myself and my general manager at the time, who was actually my first general manager when I got in the car business, changed that store from 40 to 50, 60 cars to 150 cars. And how do you do that in a heavy populated luxury, just cut a check, you never check credit type of town? And we made all the money. And we did it by changing the mindset of everyone and how we can change it through social media. This is all we did. We stopped spending the money on the newspaper ads, the television, the radio. We basically branded every single individual in our store, and we made them the face of their own business. And that we found that using social and making sure that we brand within brand was the way to go. It can happen. We just have to buy in at the time, right? So that's a little bit about my truth as far as what's going on, but let's get into what the hell is selling cars like candy bars. JP Sneaker has not found me yet. Okay, so do not worry, but I will let Sneaker know that there goes the emblem right there. But selling cars like candy bars is this. And then you'll see an interesting statistic about people in the auto industry. Everyone's in the auto industry in here? Everyone sold cars before, right? What is typically the perception of a car salesman? Let's be honest. Let's be truth. We're sharks, maybe? Liars, cheats, thieves, right? That's what we're labeled as. So selling cars being that negative connotation, I wanted to change the perception of what a true sales professional was. Okay, everyone likes candy bars. Everyone likes to eat chocolate, candy. So that's the positive aspect of selling cars like candy bars, taking that negative connotation and changing it into that positive connotation. Forbes magazine, for the last 17 years, this is an interesting statistic. Now, this is in America. I don't know what it is in Canada, but in America, the #1 profession of trustworthy people is a nurse. That's why I love my mom so much, because she can never lie to me, right? She always tells me the truth. But interesting, on the very bottom, you'll find that one is politicians and the other is what? Now, there's a battle in America between politicians and car people, right? This is a good one. So really quick, I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause, right? We won! They hate us! They really hate us. I love that. I love being hated on, right? Just like in the Raptors. No one was believing in the Raptors at the beginning of the season, right? But they have that underdog. Let's change the perception by doing what? Winning game 4, right? That's what everyone's pumped up about this year, right? So, getting comfortable and uncomfortable. I got some interesting statistics here for you guys. Radio, when it first came out, people were scared shitless of radio. No one understood it. They're like, what is this noise coming out of this little box? For some of you older ones that before TV came out didn't understand radio, right? And then as they kept going, then television came out. Here is the statistic right here. It took radio 38 years to hit 50 million active listeners. 50 million, took 38 years. Television, it took 13 years to get 50 million. Here's the interesting statistic. Instagram, I don't know if you guys are on Instagram, I'll get out of the way. Instagram took only 1.5 years to hit 50 million active users. 50 million, only a year and a half. Now, for those that are in the management level or ownership levels that are, let's say the word romantic of the idea that you can't get the attention of someone through social media more than you can in radio and television, look at the little statistic of 50 million, okay? So, how do we do it, John? Social media. I've gone to a lot of seminars, a lot of events like this where I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to sell you my company, nothing like that. What I do when I go to seminars, what I always wanted the person that was standing up here was, okay, you've given me every why I should do this, right? We all know social media is important, right? We all know that is important. But the problem that I've had with a lot of people that have stood up here is they never told me how to do it. That's the problem. It's just like when we're trying to sell people. We'll give you the why buy from our dealership, but let me tell you how we're going to do it. So that's what we're going to do with social media, right? So a couple quick different ones here. I don't know if you guys are all versed with the platforms that are out there. I'll go through these quite quickly because we should get to that point. Snapchat. Anyone on Snapchat in here? There you go, the younger crowd. Hey, right there. Snapchat. Snapchat is very interesting. That actually has a lower demographic of people, right? You're younger, you're teens, up to probably 25, maybe 30. If they're 30, they should be getting off Snapchat. But nevertheless, Snapchat is really a younger generation. And why is that important for our business, especially if we're in the automotive industry? Those are the people that are going to continue to buy from us as they get older. So don't ever count this out, even though, oh, that is a kid's platform. These are the people we actually want to touch base with. We want to let them know that our story is for real, and then when you are ready, maybe it's a graduation gift, maybe if it's a birthday gift, maybe that kid's probably going to tell mommy and daddy, I got to do business with John Ressureccion because he sells cars like candy bars. Abso-freaking-lutely, right? So you got 190 million active users on there, so there's a lot of opportunity to do business right there. Anyone on Twitter? Twitter, right? That's actually a big American thing, right? And you know, I don't want to shit on my own country, but we just like to talk and make noise and cause problems, right? Yeah, that's right. Go California. Go USA. Twitter, I actually, if you were in a dealership aspect, I would encourage your team to go on Twitter for the sheer fact of just listening. Listening to what the community is saying about your business. These are things that we typically don't do. As salespeople, we like to do what? Talk. Talk for days. The problem is that everyone's telling you how to sell them a car, but we're not what? We're not listening. This is a great platform for your team to realistically listen to what's going on and how you can increase your business by doing some tweets here and there, right? Next one, YouTube. Anyone on YouTube? YouTube is a monster. Now, they say, people like to think that YouTube is actually social media. I like to beg to differ, right? YouTube, for me, YouTube has gotten so big, it is more considered a search engine, like a Google, right? Let's be realistic. I've learned how to change the toilet, the pipes and everything, because I went on YouTube for the do-it-yourself. I've saved a lot of money. Thank you, YouTube. And anyone that's in YouTube, thank you so much for helping me know how to change a toilet. Thank you. I've saved a lot of money. But this is a great way to, basically, if you're doing long-term content, like a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute piece of content, if you're doing a walk around on the car, I would heavily encourage getting your team on YouTube. LinkedIn. We're all LinkedIn fans, right? LinkedIn is interesting. I actually was on LinkedIn when it first came out, and I did it specifically to do what? Put my resume on there, because I was trying to get out of the car business, right? So I put my resume on LinkedIn and then said, go to different companies and then say, what can I do, right? So I went on to LinkedIn. LinkedIn was actually pretty interesting, but this is a good B2B. Everyone should be on this. This is where you can find a lot of good knowledge and content through there. Facebook is still, by all means, 2.4 billion people. There's a lot of opportunity. We talk about this. We already know what Facebook is. Instagram, though. Here is something is extremely interesting, right? I actually talked to a lot of the guys, and they're not actually heavy on Instagram. I'm going to do a majority of my presentation on Instagram. And the reason why there's 1 billion people, 1 billion pieces of opportunity you can get onto Instagram. Not only that, you can push whatever content you're putting through Instagram into your Facebook, which will allow you to hit 2-for-1 specials, right? That's why I like Instagram, okay? And if you have Twitter, you could throw all your content onto Twitter. Now you have a threefold, right? That's why I like Instagram. But how do we do it, folks? So here's the how. This is how we're going to do this. So everyone wants followers, but let's realistically look into and deep dive into this. What is your intent? What is your salesperson intent in getting into social media, right? We got to talk about in your header and when you're doing your description, tell your intent, what you're interested in. Let the people know where you are actually located, your contact information, and if you have other platforms like a LinkedIn and all these things, make sure that you're putting that on there. Or if you're really think that you're hot shit, then put the dealership's website on there so they can go into your inventory by clicking the website, okay? Stories. Stories, if you guys don't know, I'm not talking about these stories. I'm not talking about green eggs and ham. I'm talking about the stories that are on Instagram that are in the very top. Here's an interesting thing that Instagram has done. They actually basically hijacked Snapchat's idea, and they threw it on their platform. And hence the reason why Snapchat's not doing so hot anymore. So stories is really where you can do a lot of interaction, doing engagements, getting hold of customers, driving them wherever the hell you want to drive them by using a lot of call to actions, right? You can use stories by saying, check out our website, follow me here, go to this different platform and find other pieces of content that would work for you as well. Great way to use traffic. So what does that look like, John? Here you go. Here is when you actually pop up the thing. You can do locations, mention, hashtags, gifts, time, polls, the whole works. Here's all your call to actions for engagement. This is a very interesting thing. If you have a lot of younger guys in your stores or your dealerships, they should know what this is. But let's show them how to actively and properly use them. So engagement is everything. So you can have them do the ask me a question about the Nissan Maxima. Customers will come in and says, how much horsepower is on there? And then they can engage with that person. Well, what's the cost of the Maxima? Then they can actively engage. We can use that as a call to action. The next one right here with the green eggs and ham, we could do a poll. Will the Raptors win the finals? Hell yes or nah, player? You could do that. These are active engagements that you can use with your customers or the people that are viewing your content. How is the speaker doing? You can have doing an engagement there. Or like here, this is what I did this 6 days ago. I actually had the game changer and I actually put a time clock on there, hence the reason why there's a lot of people in California probably looking at live. I love you, fam. Thank you. All right? Highlights. Here is what's interesting. They basically took this away from LinkedIn. Highlights is basically your active resume. So I actually used Jason as an example on this one as well, because through here you can see he has a resume of all the things that he's actually doing. He has the Closer's Coffee. He has the podcast, the Drive, the blogs. These are things that where people can literally go onto your page, click on it, and see what the hell you're about. This is a great opportunity to figure out why I should keep continuing to follow you. Mine was Exposure Truth, merch. I was selling these things. Content is king. These are all the things that I was doing. But this is a great way for you guys to really let people know what you're doing. Feed. Feed is actually a very, very interesting place where people just don't know what to put in as far as content. But the first thing I want you to tell your team in this matter is first change your profile to a business profile. Change it. It is the best way because it gives you every tool that you can realistically use to really see the metrics, right? I am a numbers guy. I measure everything and anything. Come from posts, when it comes to what I'm actually putting on text, I want to know if what I'm putting out really, really works. If you're in the marketing game, these are tools that you use probably every single day, right? So it would allow you to do like what days are the best times to actually post something. This stuff really matters, okay? For example, if I'm on the West Coast, which is 3 hours behind the East Coast or in Canada, my job was I'm going to try to post as much as I can at 6 o'clock in the morning. Why? Does anyone know why? If I'm in California and you guys are on the East Coast, it's because it's 9 o'clock your time and you're probably checking your phone before you walk into your dealership or work or business. If I couldn't make that one, I'm going to make sure that I try to hit you at 9 o'clock. Why? Because in 12 o'clock is typically what? Lunch hour. And what does everyone do during lunch hour? Look at LinkedIn. Go on social media. So I'm going to use that opportunity. If that doesn't work, I'm going to try to do it during lunchtime. I'm going to hit you at 3 p.m. Why? Because everyone's trying to leave for work and they're going to go look at their social media to see what's going on. These are little things that we need to really realistically look at. Gender. The ladies hate me. Okay? 38% only follow me, but 62% of men actually follow what I'm actually telling you guys. Age range. For me, this is what I want to know. Here is a great way if you were a GM, an owner, or a salesperson, you want to know who is actually engaging with your business, right? These are free tools, folks. I'm not asking you to spend any more money. I just want you to change it, right? Change your profile. 25 to 34, those are the people that are your millennials that are actually doing business with your business right now. 35 to 44 are your true professionals that have a ton of money that can purchase whenever the hell they want, okay? Last one right here, top location. So I'm heavier in Oxnard, San Diego, LA, Washington, DC, and Ventura County. These are if I'm trying to target and making sure that I am spending my dollars in the right area, that I make sure that I focus on these areas, okay? And then feed posts. What content? This is, I'm actually trying to do, I'm trying to get in shape, right? But a lot of people engaged on this one, probably because I was naked and I was showing myself, right? But nevertheless, this will let you know how much engagement people were actually going into my thing. So posts like that, I'm probably going to go heavier when I do my next post because I want to cater to what my audience wants me to show them, right? So does feed aesthetics matter? If you ever hire these people that are Instagram gurus and they basically tell you they're going to spend $995 and we'll take care of your social media and this is how we're going to do it, we're going to make it look pretty like Reynolds Kitchen. You can see aesthetically it looks delicious, right? This is a restaurant. The next one right here is a clothing brand. You can see by just the way it's easier on the eyes, they're using different colors. These things for them says it matters. Or they're making sure that the background on these things look aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But let me show you some things that look like noise. Anyone know who Grant Cardone is? If you're in the auto industry, 10x that thing. Grant Cardone is a monster. He actually has, I believe, 1.5 million followers right now. Okay? I think that's the right statistic. Anyone know Tony Robbins? Love Tony Robbins. Master of motivational and getting people comfortable with uncomfortable, right? He's actually at 4 million. And everyone should know, and if you don't know this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V, right? Does anyone know Gary V? Yep. If you don't know who Gary V, go on his thing. This guy is 6 million deep on just Instagram. Why is this important? Aesthetically, this looks like freaking noise. So if someone were to tell you, or they come into your dealership and says, we're going to make aesthetically pleasing to the eye, tell them to pound sand and says, hell no, it does not matter. Okay? Hashtags. This is an interesting one. Anyone know what hashtags are?
Pound sign.
Okay? Hashtags are realistically ways to get people's attention in different areas you're trying to focus on. I have a 3 strategy when it comes down to hashtag. This will allow you to grow your audience a lot faster, and it will allow you to pinpoint the people you actually want to listen to your story, right? Popular hashtags like love, which has 1 billion people actually actively listening or viewing the content. Instagood, 5.3. These are all different things. I want you, if you guys want to clip it, that's what it is. These are different ways you can really target. I have target market hashtags, which is an industry specific when you are trying to get to certain people. So for example, community. If I'm doing a hashtag automotive right now, I know they have 1.4 million people actually looking at hashtag automotive. That's how you start trending. That's how you get the attention of a lot of people. You got dealerships, hashtag dealerships, Ford, Nissan, whatever you want to do. But if you really want to engage, create your own hashtag that is relative to your business. For example, mine is what? Selling cars like candy bars. I did this not too long ago. I've already have close to 6,000 people following hashtag selling cars like candy bars. Love it, all right? So that's where that's at. But hashtags typically are very difficult to do. It takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to put about max 30 on there. So John, what is the easiest way to get this freaking hashtag? Because I do not want to do it, which I typically get a lot. Go to www.besthashtags.com. It's going to look just like this, okay? The next one, once we do it like this, we're going to say car dealerships because that's what the room is about, right? Once you put car dealership, it will give you every single strong hashtag you can think of to maximize the piece of content that you actually have. The beauty is you can copy it and you can paste it right onto your piece of content. That literally takes you 30 seconds, folks. Thank you very much. You're welcome. That is a nugget, chicken McNugget for you, okay? Brand within brand. I'm going to speed up a little bit here. Candy crushing the game. So why is this important? We spend so much time marketing the dealership, but realistically, are people really buying dealerships right now? No. Who are they buying? They're not buying the car. Who do they buy? The person. Here's some people that are actually crushing the game. Bowtie Terrence. Anyone know who this guy is? This guy is the rapper of all rappers, or MC, or Spitfire. This guy's at 7,000. This guy is a 25, 30 car guy, never takes it up, does social media, and doesn't have to have the dealership spend any money on him. He does it himself, right? Next guy right here, these are actually brothers, Evan Mack and Ian Mack. If you're in Nissan, you better follow these guys. These 2 cats right here are twin brothers. They're from Colorado, okay? One of them has 7,000 on 7,000 followers. The other one has 9,000. This is actually #1 and #2 of all of Arizona. Colorado, I'm sorry. Of all of Colorado. Do they take it up? Hell no. They just go social. The great thing about these 2 brothers, they bring value as showing you that they are real people and that they love their community. They go out and have a good time. This is why people are buying from these people. Now, okay, well, how do we do it for our dealerships? Here's some dealerships that are actually crushing it. Now, although these are not a lot of followers, I want you to follow these different dealerships and see what they're doing. And here's the reason why. The value that they bring here, Rockaway Nissan highlights the salesperson, not the product that they're selling. These guys are winning, right? Ventura Toyota, same thing. They actually have a mascot, which is the gentleman. His name is Mike Stan McKinley. He is the voice of Toyota, and everyone that walks into that dealership always asks for that one gentleman every single time. He's actually the internet director, okay? Last one is a Harley-Davidson store. These guys are talking about lifestyle. Harley's hurting, but this Harley-Davidson dealership, which has 45,000 followers, are actually crushing it. So how do we do it? Here it is. Take a snapshot. There it is. Monday. What are we talking about on Monday? Motivational, mindset, whatever you want to talk about. Tuesday, Technical Tuesdays or Tech Tuesday. If you guys have a navigation system or a new tech item on your vehicle, have them talk about that. Workplace, walk around, have them show your dealership. Thursday could be testimonials. This is where you start highlighting the customers that they've sold cars to or giving shout outs to your dealership. Friday is a freestyle flashback, whatever the hell you want to do. Saturday is a strategy. Sunday, take your time, enjoy your family, right? Here's the map that you guys should be telling all your guys to do it if they want to really maximize their time. Here's some quick tools. Here's all the tools that I'm going to give you. These are all free tools, okay? I'm not asking you again to spend any money. I want you to win. First one, create your own content about photos. You got InLight, Photo Fox, Snapseed. These are to enhance your photos and your images, okay? This is a great way for you guys, our free services. Now, if you get to those certain spots, then you can obviously, when you get in there, then you could actually pay the extra ones if you want to. Video, I do everything on iMovie while it's on my phone. It's free. I cut majority of all my videos on iMovie. You could do all your editing, all your things. You don't need a team to come in and shoot a commercial or anything for you. Do it on your phone. And like Video Leap, same thing. Next one right here, these are actually paid ones, but here's some good ways if you want to enhance it by music, okay? Content is king. I'm going to go through these fast, right? So there's some winning and some hell no's, right? This right here is typically what a lot of dealerships are doing right now. Hell no. This ain't the paper ad. It's social media. This brings me no value as a consumer. This one does, because it's telling me a story about what their business is about, what lifestyle I'm trying to get to, right? Next thing, create some memes. JP is the king of memes, right? Now, people call me obnoxious because I throw myself anywhere, but I'm branding myself. This one got more engagements on my feed than anything. I talk about manufacturers and I talk about entrepreneurship, right? Great way. These things, I've done it all through the free stuff. Make it memorable. Have your salespeople make sure that their faces are on every single picture that they take for their customers. Why? Because this is the guy that's selling the car. These are just byproducts of the happy customers, right? If it's my brand, I want people to know who the hell I am, right? Testimonials, I'll skip. Do video testimonials, because I got to wrap it up here 2 seconds. But this is a great way. Get people uncomfortable. Get them. If you have done your job, you earn the right to get these people on video and tell them why they should do business with you, okay? Last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is this last nugget. If your team does not know what the hell to talk about, go to this website right here. It's called www.answerthepublic.com. Why is this one important? Even if you were in a dealership, here's why it's important. I can literally go and put car dealership and it will give me every conversation that the world is talking about your business, right? Who, what, where, when, how, and why are the questions and topics we can talk about. This will give you a vast amount of opportunities to do anything with the dealerships, right? So you're welcome on that one. If you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. But I'm going to leave you on this one, JP, I know. I'm going to leave you with this photo right here, okay? Digital connections. Yeah. JP, you need a new wardrobe. But here's why this is important. Here in this photo, these are all people that I have literally met through social media, okay? A lot of these guys, like a Jason Harris, I'm from California. How the hell do I get in touch with this guy, right? How do I get this guy to fly me out? It was through digital connections. Not only that, if you've never met these guys, if you've never met Herb Anderson or Eric Nelson, these guys have a podcast called Dealer Talk on podcasts. How the hell do I get connected with these guys to enhance my brand, right? Same thing with JP, stand-up comedian, but he's in Canada. How do I connect with this guy? Sean Welsh, who is the bad boy of the automotive, he calls an ugly baby an ugly baby. I love him. He's super real. But why this is important? Although social media is something that we shy away from, we have to understand that it's because of social media that we're able to connect with guys like this, right? When you take the time, not just socially, make sure that you go to events like this and meet guys like this to help you grow your business, your brand, the awareness. The old school meet and greet face-to-face still freaking works. But you gotta connect first here because realistically, there's no way I would have met these two. I would have never met Dan if I was never on social media. So making sure you guys, as you go on and you bring this back to your team, you guys can have these slides. I have no problem. I know you're taking photos, but I'll give it to Jason, and he'll give it to you guys. But nevertheless, make sure that you guys follow me here. These are all the different platforms that I'm actually actively in. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. That went by fast. That went by fast.
So that was awkward, Hug?
Yeah, that was awkward.
So first of all, let's give it up again to the guy from California.
Yay! Go Raptors!
I'll reboot, okay? Okay. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Got it? Perfect. All right. Grab your drinks. We're going to get started. It's got quiet in here all of a sudden. So, welcome back. All the live viewers, appreciate you coming in. John Ressureccion was awesome. Let's all give it up again for John. So, first of all, I wanted to thank Jason Harris and Digital Dealership Solutions for putting this on. His crew, we couldn't have done this without you, so let's give his crew and the camera crew an awesome round of applause. We're going to have Dan Liska up here in just a few minutes to talk about why you suck at internet, right? But I like to do a little networking hack. So who has a business card on? God help you if you don't have a business card. Pull your business card out for me. You don't have a business card? You're at a networking event.
I do digital.
You do digital. Okay, well, okay, everyone grab a business card. Put your up here by head so I can see it. Everyone have a business card? Wave it up. Okay. Who goes to trade shows? Who goes to auto shows? Who goes to... you use your card? You give them out? Okay. Can you do this with your card? Can you do that with your card? See that? Can everyone do that? You want to know why it's important? That's why it's important. Because if I can do that with a card, your customer who at an auto show, a trade show, or something else can do that too. Why is that important? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll get back to you. If they can't flex it, they'll put it in their pocket. Guess where it'll end up? It'll end up in the Rolodex. It'll end up on the phone. So look at your card stock and get double thick. All right? That's the way you do it. Right? If you don't believe me, if you don't believe me, go to auto show, go to trade show, and look around the garbage can. Prove my point, right? So with Dan Liska coming up in just a second, we're going to talk about why we suck at communication, right? Why is it so hard to talk to people? Hell, what happened in the 80s when you wanted to date someone? You had to go to a bar. You had to talk to people. At least that's what I did. You had to communicate better. Why is it so hard, right? When people follow up their customers and a lead comes in at 3:25 p.m. on a Thursday, and we send them an email right away because heaven forbid we pick up a phone or text them or call them or send them a video or communicate or show up at their house and see their daughter at 3 o'clock. No? Okay. The problem is that when you follow up the next day, you follow up at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., right? What has the customer told you when they send an email at 3:25 p.m.?
Call me tomorrow at 4.
No. Or?
I'm by the phone.
You're by the phone. If a customer, we're all creatures of habit. We all go probably to the same restaurants in our area. We all go to dinner or lunch roughly the same time. We all usually take the same drive to work. You know, we're creatures of habit. We're human beings. We like that. So if someone tells you, sends a lead at 3:25 p.m., when are they likely available tomorrow? 3:25 p.m., so follow up at 3:20. All right? So our next guest is Dan Liska. We're lucky to have him. We flew him all the way from over there. And he is a really good resource and huge depths of knowledge when it comes to internet leads, internet departments, communication. He's going to go over how to best communicate with your customer and how not to get screwed by that person who wants to give you money. Right? So put your hands together. Let's get Dan Liska up here.
Thanks, Jay. I'm going to grab it on my phone. Yep. There you go. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and bear with me while I figure this out because I am not a speaker. I am a normal guy.
It goes easier the other way around, you know.
We're good. We'll figure it out.
You're dressing yourself wrong.
I'm just lucky I dressed myself today.
There you go. Dan Liska, everybody.
Hello. Yeah, that was amazing. So let's be very, very clear first and foremost. Every single person in this room knows more than me about selling cars. Okay? I am not going to talk at all about selling cars. You guys are all way better than me. Here's what I have done, though. All right, so I might be doing some scrolling, apparently. This clicker is not... It's giving me half screens. That's okay. So let's learn a little bit about me. Why should you even care about me? Because I can't teach you how to sell cars. Well, so I'm just a normal guy. Let's be clear. I'm not about the sizzle. I am about the steak. I am not about social skills. I am about process and teaching you how to make money and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to bring to the table today. I'm going to teach you how to not suck. I'm not just going to say we suck. I'm going to teach you how to not suck. So, just to understand a bit about me, my credibility, my belief system, stuff like that, I'm a super small town boy. If anyone's heard of Kincardine, that is where I'm from. It is about 5,000 people max. All that means is reputation is everything to me. Reputation should be everything to everyone in this room because we're in a very small industry. 15 years selling digitally. So that's really my value here. Yeah, I'm, again, not going to teach you how to sell cars. I can teach anyone in this room how to sell anything digitally. It doesn't matter whether it's toilet paper or battleships or cars or software or whatever. Sales is sales. And anyone who says sales is an art probably doesn't understand the process of sales. Because it doesn't matter what we're selling. We're identifying addressable markets. We're understanding ideal client profiles. We're uncovering pain. We are understanding triggers in every different stage of the buying process. We're capitalizing on those triggers. We're solving uncertainty. You know, these are all the same fundamentals. It doesn't matter what industry we're in. Again, why listen to me? Well, I've been an inside sales leader at about 6 hyper-growth companies so far. All hyper-growth means is that we grow our sales by about 300% year over year. We're not talking little bits of percent. We're not in industries that are in decline. Everything that I do is focused on growth. There's a lot of efficiency being thrown around in the auto industry right now. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's so hard to sell cars. There's so much competition. There's, everyone's price shopping. Well, there's actually been a record number of cars sold. So someone's selling cars. It's the people that are very, very good at digital. Of course, I just accidentally hit a button there. Anyway, so my personal mission, why am I here? I ain't here to sell anything. I am here to help. Because this mission right here, improving the quality of life for salespeople everywhere. There's so many salespeople in North America, and they're so affected. Their quality of life is always going up and down based on their performance, right? And it's ridiculous when we look at how much money companies will spend to select and hire and recruit people, and then they spend less than 5% of that on training them, and then they watch as half their sales reps turn over in 12 months. It's like throwing money into a black hole. And then finally, on a personal note, just about me, I like the 4 elements: hockey, soccer, trees, water. And then this right here, this is really what drives me, okay? John hit it best, when he was talking about what we're all up against as salespeople, and down here we had automotive salespeople as the least trustworthy. Spoiler alert, it's not just automotive salespeople. Any sales. The second we say sales, the number one objection we're all facing, and nobody says it to our face, is, well, you'd say anything to me. You're trying to get my money. It's a subconscious objection. So it's every salesperson out there, not just all sales. And that's why I really think this is the mentality that we all need to adopt. We're all out there trying to sell cars right now. Selling cars doesn't sell cars in 2019. Saying, I'm not here to sell you a car. I'm just here to help you with your online research. Any way I can get you in the showroom, that sells cars in 2019. So let's talk about that. Where do I got this knowledge from? I don't think I'm smarter than anyone, I promise. But I'm in kind of an unfair position where I get to listen to about 760 Canadian dealers tell me what really works and what doesn't work for taking people from online leads into the showroom. I work for a company that provides a full suite of digital retail tools, so all these different types of ways to get leads from your client and solve uncertainty from clients. I work with all OEMs and all web providers, so I see the entire range of brand issues and stuff like that. We turn online researchers into quality leads that stand in the showroom. So that's literally my life, is helping dealers go digital. And then finally, my role, even though it says sales, my role is actually helping the dealers to change their processes, because we have this product where the sale is the easiest part of it. It's changing dealers' behavior and updating how they actually connect with their customers and bring leads into the showroom. That is the difficult part. So I am very sorry to bore you with all that detail, but I wanted you guys to all know exactly why someone who's never sold a car in his life can probably actually teach you something about selling cars right now. And I wanted to own that fact. So what's in this for you? I promise, using all these best practices, we are going to double the amount of appointments that you have standing in the showroom from your web leads. Benefit number one. Benefit number two, I'm going to challenge your mindset on growth and accountability. There's a lot of focus on saving money right now, making money. I don't know if you guys are aware, dollar's a dollar. So tactics, resources that actually work in the real world right now. So I'm passionate about the sales, and you're going to see a whole lot of candy in the form of real resources that I can send to you guys after this, whether it's scripts, PDFs, assessment tools, checklists, whatever it is. I got all the candy in the world, but we're talking about stuff that works right now, not concepts. And finally, if none of that is interesting to you, I promise I'll eventually shut up. So just, it's all good. Anyway, I'm a real person. Who's seen the movie Moneyball? Quick show of hands. Best friggin' movie. Here's the summary. Brad Pitt uses analytics to win baseball games. Yeah, spoiler. Hey, listen, if you haven't seen it right now, you're in a cave. So let's talk about some lessons from Billy Beane. Now, Billy Beane was, he was not just a doer, he was a coach. He could do it, and because he could do it, he understood the context of those numbers. And that's really important. We're going to talk about science and process and stuff like that, but understanding your numbers without the context of numbers is useless, and it creates this fight between sales and marketing, where marketing goes, hey, I generated you a ton of leads. And then what does sales say? They suck. Oh, those leads suck. Give me more leads. Marketing's reply, what did you do with the leads that I sent you? So, first lesson. Let's talk about the culture of winning teams. And sorry, you know what? Credibility of Billy here. Why does he matter? He put a team that cost about $40 million up against a team that cost $290 million and was able to basically do the same thing. So we talk about efficiency and making money. That's what we're trying to drive with this culture. So there's 5 key scenes in this that I really think everyone should know about how to drive this culture at your dealerships. And first is hiring and grooming talent. There's this scene where Billy goes into a competing GM's office to trade, and he is 1 on 10. And it's a bunch of old people in the room. You got the old guard. You know exactly what it's like in the car dealership, all those old people who are resisting digital, blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about trades. Everyone's yammering on. And the opposing GM really pays attention to this one junior guy. He's played by Jonah Hill. And the whole room shuts up, and they listen to this Yale economics grad that everyone's like, why are we listening to him? And Billy saw that and was like, that's something special. And he recruits him, and he brings him into his team. And that's not where he stops. Then he actually grooms him. At that time, nobody was giving an assistant manager job to a little economist like that. And certainly nobody was tasking him with the ability to actually trade players and stuff like that. But that's what he did. And that assistant GM turned into one of his most crucial hires. So hiring and grooming talent, we're going to talk about that as we go on here. Focus on real problems. There's one scene where he's talking with all the head scouts, and they're talking about the classic things that you need to understand in baseball. Getting that classic swing, I think, was thrown out there. They talked about the prospect's girlfriend's social lives and stuff like that as a method to select people. It's ridiculous. We got to focus on the real problems. We're going to get into that. But a real problem was on-base percentage for them. That's a real problem. It's a real stat. We're going to talk about what that real stat is for the auto industry. Spoiler alert, people in the dealership. So challenge the status quo. After Billy has the meeting with all his scouts and analysts to tell them exactly how old school they're thinking, the coach and the head scout, let me know if you have any sales reps like this, come to him and say, man, this is not the way that we've always done things. You are not letting me do my job. You are cutting my grass. We've all heard this before from the resistors, right? The detractors that feel like they're going to lose if our dealership goes in digital, right? But this is a paradigm shift we can't ignore. So what moves the needle? Remember this real problem? What moved the needle was on-base percentage, OBP. Okay, and everyone else was focused on the wrong stat. They were focused on the old stat. They were focused on runs. What comes before the runs? Getting on base. And what's more predictable than smacking a home run out of the park? Just getting on one base, just one. Okay, and so that's what he was able to do in order to just make daily bread every day. He had nothing and just on base, into infinitum championship. Finally, leaders don't take credit. So the coach that was super pissed off at him the whole time is like, Billy, you are not giving me the ability to run this team well. The coach literally tells him, I'm not going to do this. And Billy's like, you do it or you're fired, because that's how management works sometimes when you got resistors. But then the media goes, wow, look at this team. They're in the championship. They got no money. Holy crap. And you know who the media is media credit with? The coach. Man, this coach turned this team around like he's got nobody for players, right? It was all Billy. Did he get pissed off? No, absolutely not. Did he say anything? No. He was just focused on winning. Okay, so leadership lessons. And then the final one here, this is probably the most important one, because everyone's felt growing pains in the dealership. You start to do something, starts to catch fire, and then you get some momentum. And then you hit cruise control, and it's like, holy shit, yeah, we're all making good money, customers are loving us, blah, blah, blah. And then we run into growing pains. We hit cruise control. The results start to go like that. And what Billy does, he starts sending the assistant manager. He sends the assistant manager because he doesn't want to, fraternize with the guys too much. He might trade them. Well, sending the assistant manager does a piss-poor job of fixing that problem. And the only thing that fixed it was the GM getting out of his ivory tower, getting down on the ground floor and explaining the vision to people, explaining why you matter. Even if you're $400,000 a year, even if you're the lot car washer, even if you used to be a superstar and you're not anymore, you got to understand how they fit into the vision. So those are some leadership lessons, and I think that those lessons, I realize it's easy to say, so how do we actually take the concrete stuff back and put it in with our dealership? Well, I'm going to throw out a guess right now, and it's a pretty educated guess that most dealerships, have a culture that looks like this. And here's how you know. Does 80% of your revenue come from the top 20% of your people? Would you be screwed if they leave? When you try to make a change, they say, that's not the way we've done it here, so no, and then you're kind of victim to their revenue. Well, it's because everything's based on your superstars, okay? And all that stuff is built on the superstars. Superstar leaves, we're screwed. Over here, everything's based on process, okay? Everyone up here is interchangeable. They buy into the process. They buy into the vision. They buy into the tools, okay? It's about buying into the system. Name me an elite sports team, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Toronto Maple Leafs, anyone where the coach doesn't say, buy into the system. Quick Toronto plug there. Okay, but this is what we need it to look like, is everything is based on process, because process is measurable. What's not measurable is superstars. The only predictable part about superstars is they're going to take credit, okay? Even if marketing did a fantastic job and nobody understands the fantastic jobs marketing, superstars are going to take the credit. We need the process, we need the measurement. So let's talk about measurement for a second, okay? This is data-driven decision culture. Data-driven decisions. So a lot of the times what's happening with decisions is, wind's kind of going that way. We should invest in Facebook. Ooh, there's a new tool. We should totally try out this new tool. Ooh, our results weren't great at that tool. My web provider says that we got a free tool over here. I should try this. Wow, this, okay? And I'm going to take 4 right-hand turns in a row, wind up right back where I am, because I don't understand digital, and I'm just listening to everyone else's advice. Spoiler alert, Ronald McDonald is going to recommend that you eat hamburgers for lunch. Make your own decision. You can't be listening to vendors and everyone else about what decisions you make. You gotta understand digital and test this stuff out. Because Long story short, every single organization in this room is somewhere on this scale, okay? And this is data denial up here. Anyone who's saying, I don't really understand digital, I promise, it's just factual. You might be here. So organizations start with an active distrust of data and don't use it, all right? Level 2, indifference. The company has no interest in whether data is collected or used. Did we make money last month? Yep. Cool, don't change stuff. Data aware. Business is collecting data and may use it for monitoring, but doesn't base decisions on it. Hey reps, are you entering stuff in the CRM? Great. Who's the top rep? Great. Well, I'm still round robining leads as if I don't know who my top rep is. You have the data, but you're not making decisions based on the data. You're literally losing money if you're round robining leads still and not sending them to your best leads, or sorry, best reps, stuff like that, just FYI. Data informed. Managers use data selectively to aid decision making. That selectively is the key there. So we got a sales manager, we got a marketing manager that are both focused on their own goals. Marketing manager is going to say, well, let's focus on quality. Sales manager is going to say focus on quantity. And that's where we would have someone selectively use data. Really, the GM has to sit their kids down and be like, listen, you're on the same team. We're going to make a data-driven decision here, and let's find a mix of quality and quantity. We're going to find a single metric for what that is, maybe a sales-accepted lead, and we're going to measure those. Then finally, data-driven. Data plays a central role in as many decisions as possible with the organization. It's very rare to get here, but that's where we got to be shooting for. As in, when the problem comes up, your first answer, and this is going to piss off everyone's ego in the room, I know, and that's okay because we're all humans, but your first answer should be, I don't know. I don't know. Let's look at the data. Let's read the data. Let's see what the data tells us, because data doesn't lie. Our emotions lie to us. And if we're lying to ourselves with our emotions, of course everyone else is lying to us with their emotions. Maybe it's not maliciously, but it's just out of protection for their own egos and stuff like that. Don't believe me? Who in here has asked a sales rep, why didn't you hit target at the end of the month? If you were a human being who has like legitimate fears and stuff, what would you do there? You're gonna throw something under the bus. You're gonna throw the leads under the bus. You're gonna throw something under the, just whatever it is, something's going under the bus. And the people that put their ego aside throw themselves under the bus. And they go, honestly, I don't know. I tried. I can show you in my metrics that I tried. I need the help. And I can show you in my metrics I'm getting people on the phone, but I'm just not converting them to the showroom or something like that. So we can use this data to find out exactly where we need to help each other without asking them, hey, where do you need help? Where do you need help? Because you know what kind of answer you're going to get if you ask someone on your team where they need help? Same answer you're going to get if you ask your kid what they want for supper. Candy. Okay, like they don't know the answer. They can't know the answer. It's your job to know the answer as managers and spoon feed them what they're missing. So that's that data-driven culture, and that's the management culture, okay, is data-driven decisions. This is the team culture that we need to be hiring, that we need to be coaching, that we need to be reinforcing the expectations of. And if they're not of this growth mindset that we're communicating from the very start, well, maybe they're not part of a growth company, and that is okay too. But fixed mindset does things like avoids challenges, says, I am the way I am. They ignore feedback. They fight feedback. If you're a sales coach, you've probably heard, hey, why don't you try this? I think maybe, yeah, but did you hear where I tried to, like, okay, yeah, of course I heard that. The yeah buts is the worst thing in coaching. It's just ego talk for, no, don't give me that advice. Embrace the advice. Always look for a how-to guide on what you're doing wrong, and you're going to get this growth mindset. And that's where we're embracing challenges. We have this attitude of fail forward. We learn from feedback. We're putting in more effort as opposed to less effort. Persists in the face of setbacks, that resilience. I mean, oh God, you guys know I love the Leafs. You know I hate Boston Bruins. But if there's one compliment I can give the Bruins, holy crap, are they resilient? You know, and that pains me to say, but they have that growth mindset, and that's the mindset that we need to really instill into the culture. So where is our team culture falling down right now? There are these 5 dysfunctions of a team. So absence of trust. This happens a lot when, let's say things like lead response time. Get your information in the CRM. Every single manager I talk to has problems with their team doing that. It sucks to hear, but believe me, I've spoken with teams on the ground level. You know what the #1 reason is? They think, man, that's not going to help me. It's going to help my owner get a bigger cottage. It's going to help my GM get a bigger bonus. Response time, I'll get to it when I get to it. Logging stuff in the CRM, that's for someone else. What you need to do is help the reps understand that CRM is to their benefit, that these administrative things are from their benefit. If we were shooting on a soccer net or a hockey net and that net kept moving around, we ain't gonna score too much, right? You need to know your numbers as an individual, all right? We got fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, inattention to results. These are all the things that move around that target for you. I don't wanna get too detailed into that. Let's actually talk about what it looks like to solve this, okay? So this is from the management perspective. Anyone who's asking myself, how do I build a BDC? I have an internet team right now, but they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of results, stuff like that. This is where we gotta do it, okay? So we gotta recruit, hire, train, coach, and repeat. You need a machine running your business, okay? It can't be based on superstars. So culture is the new currency. What does that mean? There's so many dealerships out there. There's so many companies out there. What are you doing from a cultural perspective to attract the right people, show it's fun to work there, show that you're gonna develop their skills, show that you're gonna treat them like a fantastic manager or leader, okay? Hire, talk is cheap, assess people, stop interviewing people with questions like, tell me it's about a time when you crushed your sales target. I promise you, I've interviewed so many salespeople, they are amazing at bullshit. So actually assess them. Assess them. Seriously, like, assess them. There's a reason that the NFL and all these top prospect places do combines. What are you most confident in selling me? Awesome. Sell me that. Write down what they're good at in selling. Is it talking? Is it questioning? Is it objection handling? Is it aligning? Like, what is it? And then get them to sell something that you've never sold before. They can't prepare for that. Whatever they still do, whether it's talking, questioning, assessing, whatever, that's what they know about sales. And whatever they did in the first one that they didn't do in the second one, that's all they know about their product. So they'll be able to do that, but you're gonna need to teach them that. Okay, you're never gonna find that out just by asking fluffy questions to people. You really got to assess their skills. Train. The average car dealer is spending something silly like $9,000 if you look at your costs to attract and hire people, and then they spend less than $1,500 on training them, and then 50% of their sales staff turnover in a year. Stop being surprised by that. Start putting part of that recruiting budget into the training side of things. Online training, self-serve training, invest in coaching, and that's where the coaching comes in. Remember, what do your kids want to eat for supper? Candy? They don't know the answer. How could someone know what they don't know until you teach them? All right, and then finally, repeat. So we're gonna empower everyone, that's part of the culture. We're gonna promote the best, that's part of the culture. Even if they don't wanna go above and beyond, be a manager, we're still gonna prolong their tenure, that's part of a culture. But always be recruiting. We're not doing our job if we're not backfilling all the people that we're either planning to promote or planning to, unfortunately leave the organization if they're not part of that growth mindset where they buy into the business. All right, so you know what? This is a lot of detail here. So for recruiting and hiring, we talked about culture is the new currency, but the biggest actionable thing I want people to take away from this is staff referrals. Okay, staff referrals has a quicker time to hire. It has a better quality of hire. They have more productivity. They have way better engagement. They like brand things on social media. And the hiring market is so competitive. Get a referral program in place. Anyone who's not paying employees like $500 or something like that to find those referrals, I promise you, if you took a calculator to your budget, you would find you were spending way more than that amount of money on these other older ways of hiring, okay? And we talked about the assess skills. Finally, in the interview process, stop selling the whole, if you put your head down and work real hard, you make 100 grand. They want clear expectations. Seriously, they want clear expectations. Can you pick up your phone this many times a day? Can you answer a lead with this response time? After hours, can you try to get a good response time by putting a template in your phone? Just ask them, put them to the test, okay? So those are the good actionable things for recruit and hire. For the train and coach, you don't have to do training forever. Train them to 60%. Let them grow the rest of the way, okay? You gotta document the process and use video. Every time you put someone through a training process and you're not documenting it, especially with video, you're just wasting your own time. Quiz for digestion. Make little quizzes. There's free tools out there like Udemy where you can put these courses together yourself. Spend the time to build it once and just watch as you hit copy and paste on these high quality employees. Involve your team in the coaching. It's the best way to build culture and make your current team members kind of feel elevated, you know, and a bigger part of the company, and it's going to show you who your next future managers are. And then this one right here is incredibly important. So I'm going to talk to you a lot about growth mindset, pushing people's limits, stuff like that. This is one of the biggest important lessons that my father ever taught me. Separate your job performance from your personal worth. You absolutely need to do that. If we have a shitty sales month and then we go beat up on ourselves and tell ourselves, yeah, I deserve to have a shitty sales month because that's who I am. Guess what kind of month you're going to have next month? You need to separate the skills and performance management from your personal value. So the plays, I really wanted to skip through that because I promised people actionable, tactical stuff. So this moving target, suffering performance, I think it's really, really important that everyone just kind of understands the data-driven culture here. So a lot of times, though, what prevents people from starting a data-driven culture is kind of similar to what John said about social media. They know they should do it, but where do I start? I look at all these stats. What matters? I see 11%. Why does that matter? Well, 11% is across about 800 dealers in Canada what the average is for converting a lead to a sale from a source of trade-in leads. Why does that matter? Because if you're not converting at 11%, don't friggin' blame the leads. And if you're converting above 11%, teach someone how to do it. But it's really important to actually understand that benchmarking information, and then from there, how do we actually get to the 11%? Of those leads, 30 to 40% should book. 60% should be contacted. Of the appointments that come in, it depends on the quality of the sales reps, but 40 to 70% should be that close rate in the showroom. If you don't know your averages, you're kind of screwed, and we're going to go into that in a second. So 23%. What could that conversion rate be? Credit leads. Again, so you know, how many people have seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross? The leads are weak. No, you're fucking weak. Nobody's going to be that harsh here. But yeah, put that coffee down. But honestly, it's really, really important here. And I promise I'm not just talking to the salespeople or the sales managers or the GMs in the room. When we're talking about marketing candy, what's this? This should be the conversion rate from unique impressions that you get to leads generated. So you can hand that off. And what's happening a lot of the times right now is we're converting like 2 or 3% of our traffic into leads, and we think that the answer is to get more traffic. The answer is to fix the 2% and get it so it's converting 15%. How do you do that? Content, personalization, actually offer value on your website. If your website is just taking information, it's not giving anything other than, we'll give you a call when we actually got time, guess what they're going to use to do their research? Google. Because it's easier to open a tab and type, what's the value of my trade, than it is to use your website, or what's my credit, or something like that, okay? We need to use the internet to help people along the purchase process. And then, why does all that matter? Because it's an inspection point. If you don't understand the inspection points of your lead sources, you're going to be victim to your sales reps blaming the leads every single time. Why didn't you hit your numbers? The leads suck. They didn't like the values. The leads don't get back to us, all that stuff. Everyone's heard this. But it's bullshit. It is literally bullshit unless you understand your inspection points. And I'm not telling you what your inspection points are. Find out your own inspection points. Go to Dealer 20 groups. Hit up your LinkedIn contacts. Ask other people in the same OEM, what are you converting for leads? But don't be this data ignorant organization over here that thinks to themselves, well, pretty sure we're doing good. But digital doesn't work. You know, like you can't have these two beliefs at the same time. So we talked a lot about being kind of a leader, and this is where I really want to break out and get tactical for the GMs and the owners in the room. And then we're going to talk to sales managers, then we're going to talk marketing and sales professionals. We're going to speed through this, but GMs and owners, we got to be a leader instead of a boss, okay? So bosses take credit, leaders give credit, we got to coach them, we got to develop people, we got to ask, all those fun things. But that, you know, that's probably stuff that we've heard before. Understanding the digital journey, we got to take a couple seconds on this slide, because what's happening right now is a lot of owners and GMs, if we think about the digital retail journey as a triathlon where we run and then we bike and then we swim, It's kind of ridiculous, but a lot of owners and GMs right now are picking up their bike and throwing it in the lake because it doesn't help them swim. Think about that for a second. That's not what bikes are supposed to do, okay? So we need to understand digital retail. If any owners or GMs came here to say, I need to understand digital retail, this is your slide. You got 3 sections. Knows about you. That's your toll gate, okay? What a toll gate is in a process, it's just like when we go to John's country there and we drive on all the highways, we ought to actually put something in a toll gate to get where we're going. So a lot of the times when we build a process, it's very tough to know, when are you in that stage of the process? When are you in that stage of the process? And if we ask 10 people, we got 10 different answers. A toll gate is the dollar you put in, okay? So if someone doesn't know about you, they're definitely in the maximize eyes section. If you know about someone, you have that lead, then they're in the can be contacted section. And if they've said, yep, I have intent to buy, and PS, if they walk into your dealership, they have intent to buy, even if they're telling you I'm not interested, then we got to get to maximizing the efficiency. But the point of this slide is you got to maximize eyes, maximize opportunity, and then maximize efficiency. And the throw your bike in the lake part, everyone knows about Auto Trader, Kijiji, Dealerator, all that stuff. That's what they do. Everyone knows about digital retail, buying cars online. The industry's not quite there yet, but a lot of vendors want to push that. Hey, buy cars online, right? And that's efficient. Nobody's talking about maximizing opportunity. All that traffic that's coming to your website and just walking off and you don't know who was shopping you. Imagine this in physical terms. I walk into your dealership, I say, hey, I was just wondering, can I trust you? And what's the value of my trade? What value could I get for financing? And you're like, oh, you're not ready to buy? Well, I mean, I got competitors down the road. Go research with them. Let me know when you're ready to buy. You would last for a week before getting fired. But that's what a lot of websites are doing right now, okay? Data-driven decisions, this is a very, very important thing for the GMs going, yeah, okay, I like your fluffy stuff about data culture, Dan, but how do I actually do this? Oh my God. Okay, this is an example of what you should be measuring on your web leads. We start here, sales reps. How many leads did they receive? How many leads did they respond to? Your goal should be clear, 100%. What was their average response time? How was that average response time different during after hours? How many leads were contacted with that? How was that contact rate compared to your goal? Appointment set from contacted, appointment kept from set, appointment kept of percentage of leads, because we want to see appointments to leads, and then sales to leads. We want to see the showroom close rate, and then the overall effectiveness of everything from that lead source. What are we looking at there? That's a lot of information. So up here, leads received, well, that's our lead gen. As a GM and owner, I'm going to ask the marketing department, hey, what are you doing about my leads? Expectations here, average response time, don't be blaming your sales reps. What did you communicate to them for response time? What did you give them as tools and templates and stuff like that to actually execute on that response time? Over here, leads contacted. That's not the source of leads. That's your follow-up process. How many you actually contacted? We're not even talking about appointments. Now, appointments, that's your contact quality. Once you're getting contact, your process works, great, but maybe your conversation on the phone isn't working, so contact quality. Appointment set, also contact quality, and then down here, we got the showroom, showroom, this is like 62% of those leads when they come into the showroom are closing. Why does that matter? Because if we got a lead source that's giving you 15 showroom appointments and you're only closing 1 deal, the problem ain't the leads, the problem ain't your follow-up process, it's not anything to do with internet, the problem's in the showroom. So that's how we would look at these and actually identify the different broken processes within our dealership. Sales and marketing alignment, this is a really important one. So this is how sales and marketing used to get along. Marketing would set them up, sales would knock them down, okay? And now it's kind of the same, but what's happened is marketing takes people a lot further in the process. So 10 years ago in car sales, especially in the Greater Toronto area, it was like, no, don't bring the customer in unless they're interested. I don't want a low quality appointment. That is ridiculous for a sales manager to say. Would you rather have a customer in your showroom who's giving you an objection and you have the chance to handle the objection, or would you rather not have a customer in your showroom? It's a numbers game, sales. So what's happening here is we need to understand that nobody walks into the showroom without intent. Everyone walks into the showroom saying, I'm not interested, leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. At the start, that's just a knee-jerk reaction. If I called anyone here and said, hey, you weren't expecting my call, you're immediately trying to hang up on me. I know. You're going to say not interested, I know. But if I was gonna offer you $40,000 for $10,000, you'd be silly not to take my call. But everyone just says no before they even understand what it is we're offering. We need to understand that nobody takes that toll gate action of walking into a dealership without intent to buy. So sales managers, stop blaming your BDCs, your internet teams for booking low quality appointments, because if they walked in the dealership, it's in your realm. It's in the showroom realm. It's no longer in the BDC realm or anything like that. And then finally, with everyone focusing on efficiency nowadays and GMs looking to reduce costs for owners, yes, reduce costs, but measure your ROI on these things. It's the same reason you call before you dig. You dig up a service that's actually being your lifeblood for this digital, and the power's gonna go out, you know? So we can, long story short, that's the old phrase, we cut off the nose to spite our face. We're gonna save a couple $100, sure, but you're also maybe potentially gonna lose $8,000 in gross profit, which maybe we just weren't measuring, you know? Anyway, so that's my candy for the GMs, owners, stuff like that. On the marketing side of things, the biggest thing, just test your CX. Marketers are getting led around by vendors right now and all these massive promises and everything. Test, 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 the end. Oh, geez. Yeah, perfect. All right, so marketing management. Who all likes lying to their doctors? Me. That's essentially what we're doing when we measure all of our traffic without doing things like normalizing our data. We got two stores that we're comparing, and we go, this store gets more leads. That doesn't matter. Who gets more leads per 100 unique website views? That matters. That's kind of like the answer to that normalizing data. Traffic without local IPs. If you were trying to measure foot traffic, would you try to measure all the employees of yours that walk through the front door? No. So identify the local IP addresses of your network and never count those towards your traffic. And then finally, adjust for seasonality. Running A/B tests is great. Running pilot programs is great. Running a pilot program for something in winter against a pilot program for something in spring, spoiler alert, the thing you run in spring is going to win. And it's not because it's a better thing, it's because it's at a better time of year. So that's just really important to normalize your data for marketers. This is one of the most actionable things for any marketers in the room, okay? Consensus, buy-in. I promise, I empathize with you marketers, I really do. Not many people understand what you do. That's the reality. A lot of people don't understand the difference between a bounce rate and a basketball. Okay, no problem. But it's still your job to get marketing going for the company. And it's still your job to get the consensus and buy-in of everyone else in the company. So the number one thing that I hear from sales departments that are frustrated with their marketing departments is I had no say. I didn't have any buy-in in this decision. They just rolled down a new fancy digital tool and I don't know what to do with these leads. So what can we do with this as a marketer? Well, marketing to sales says, what's the biggest thing that marketing can do to support you? You're not giving up your job, you're just asking for requirements. Which area is your team losing the most traction with what I'm already sending you? Okay, if you start to invite that feedback, believe me, you're gonna get whipped a lot less by people saying, oh, your leads suck. And then finally, could I get your feedback on how these might play out in the showroom? You know, because what the feeling is there is that marketers don't understand what goes on in the showroom. And you know what? There's a little bit of truth to it. Probably just as much truth as when you guys believe that sales doesn't understand what marketing's all about. It's not a problem for us to not understand each other. It's a problem for us to compete with each other and not work with each other, okay? And that's where sales and marketing really needs to understand we're not competing, we need to get on the same team. And so for ownership, the other consensus you need to buy, you know, let's say that you run a dealership that's been in your family's generation for years and years and years. The generation above you does not understand digital. Well, do you mind if I ask, Mr. Owner, do you see digital as strategic or operational? Do you see marketing as strategic or operational? What does that tell you? Well, if they see it as strategic, you have a seat at the table. Expect a seat at the table. Expect to say things like, this is what you should do for your marketing campaign. If they say it's operational, you need to switch your questions to, what would you like to see from me? Okay, I'll give you that. Because otherwise you're just going to run into an uphill battle every time. So it's about understanding what the owner actually wants from marketing. And then the next best question, what level of involvement would you like to have in this? Because someone who sees marketing as
operational generally just wants the results. They don't necessarily want to be involved, and that's actually a pretty good situation to be in if you just do a really good job understanding the requirements. Someone who sees it as strategic is probably going to say, I want to be involved, and you might have less issues getting approval from them, but you might have to spend more time kind of getting their buy-in. Anyway, I cannot stress enough, marketers, the really good thing you can do here is leverage your partners and manage your vendors. Anyone heard the term political capital before? If anyone is managing their careers, you should know that term. Think of it as an emotional bank account with all the different people that you have. You do something good for them, make a $50 emotional deposit. You do something bad, you take out a deposit. So marketers know political capital very well, and messengers get shot. So marketers, if you've tried to deliver the message, you're trying to get consensus from the sales team and the owners and stuff like that, but they're not doing it, leverage some of your vendors. Seriously, they usually have a lot of experience in this, and who cares if they get shot? I'm just saying, like, let's be real. I told you, I'm not here to, I'm really not good at social skills, but I'm great at process. And that's a resource that you have at your disposal, and a lot of the times we're just kind of too shy to pick up the phone, or maybe we're just like, no, I don't want to deal with vendors. But use them as your team of virtual employees to get your administration and your buy-in done. And then finally, the ROI calculators. If you're in marketing, you got to be calculating your value and proactively communicating it. Don't make your bosses and owners come say, hey, what value did you give me? You're already 3 months behind what they were expecting of you if they're asking that question, okay? And then finally, gas pedal what works. So whatever the tactics are, you got to do a little bit of them. Let's measure the success. Once we find out it's more than paying for itself, gas pedal. It doesn't always have to be spending money. Every single person here has a database. Do an email blast to your database that says, hey, we are in desperate need of trades right now, and we invest in digital tools, so we got this awesome tool that's going to tell you exactly what your trade-in is worth. We don't want everyone's car, but if we give you a call, we want to buy your car. Everyone's getting a call. And then, so from here, new financing options. You could offer up something like a free credit check. But whatever it is, remember at the very start when I said selling cars doesn't sell cars in 2019? Getting people in the showroom sells cars in 2019. And the only reason people get in the showroom is we give them value to turn into a lead. Otherwise, they just open that new Google tab. And then we got some paid stuff that's really basic. And I don't mean paid as in spend more money on it. I mean paid as in you're probably already spending money on it right now and saying things like, oh man, I spent too much money on this for the results I get. Well, it's because you're doing the same thing as everyone else, or maybe advertising strategy is based on co-op dollars or something like that. But what we got to be doing here is just stop throwing traffic at the wall with the same messaging as every dealer. Stop putting up Facebook campaigns that just have your pre-owned inventory. If you know that your traffic is only converting to leads at 2 to 3%, why are we trying to amplify 2 to 3%? Let's fix 2 to 3%. So we can use some of these tools to create a valuable call to action that's like, if you're on Facebook and we're all scrolling through these Canada Drives things, I mean, we should just take the time to do our own Canada Drives for our own little department. It's super easy and super possible right now. And then finally, paid or best-in-class stuff. So once you've done the free stuff, once you've done the paid stuff, I guarantee if you're doing it right, it's going to provide you crazy ROI. Then you got your best-in-class stuff. So content marketing, putting out funny content, like what John's talking about right there. Air campaigns, so actually getting unique traffic, not the traffic that's already coming to you from your referrals and that you're buying from Kijiji and Trader. I'm talking about unique traffic that you guys didn't have before. But that's really the kind of playbook for the marketers there. And I can't stress enough, I know I'm speeding through all this tactical stuff. Every single bullet point, every single slide, every single picture you're seeing, happy to share with everyone. And if there's a picture of it, there's a downloadable resource for it. So that's what I meant about, I'm about the steak, not the sizzle. Anyone wants to see how to actually do this stuff, just send me an email, connect with me after. I'll send everyone the resources. Sales management, solve what matters. Remember we were talking about, oh, that's a classic swing. We don't want him. That doesn't matter. That person's girlfriend's social life was this. That doesn't matter. But on-base percentage matters. Getting in the showroom matters. Everyone probably knows this stat, but 4 to 5 dealerships were considered by the Canadian car buyer back in the 90s, and now it's 1.3. I realize you don't Sorry about that. Did I hit something? Cool. I am always excited. I go from 0 to 10. I'm coming in hot sometimes. So anyway, that OBP, anyone who really likes Moneyball and is wondering what that OBP is, it's people standing in the showroom. And don't let your sales managers or sales reps say things like they weren't interested, or they didn't like the value I gave them, blah, blah, blah. Like, your job isn't to debate with the customers, it's to relate with the customers. And that's really where this comes in, the don't accept excuses. So when they say things like this is the, asking your kids what they want to eat for supper and they answer candy. When they say I didn't like the values, that's not the real answer. What they meant is I failed to explain the values. When they said I'm not in market, no, what they really, or the customer wasn't in market, what they really meant was I didn't show them enough value for them right now. When they said the leads won't respond, what they're really saying is I need guidance on follow-up. So when they make these excuses, do you go run those excuses up to the owner and the GM? Or do you actually coach them and say, well, what does your follow-up process look like? On day 1, how quick is that activity happening? On day 3, how quick is that activity happening? So on and so forth. And down here, have you actually empowered them with a script? Have you let them write down their own version of the script or write down their own objection handles? Because not everyone is going to sell like you or you or you or you. We all have different styles. Okay? Have we actually given them the resources to make it their own? But bottom line, you can't accept excuses, but you also can't say, just get out there and do better. We got to be a leader. We got to coach. All right? So we got to learn digital and embrace support. So again, this is talking about actually getting together with the marketing department, because an example for something like trade-ins is the sales reps go, well, it took so long for me to provide them with a trade-in value. I had to run their appraisal, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? The marketing department can do all that right now. So why as salespeople are we trying to hold on to control of this archaic process when we could be handing it off to marketing and just dealing with these high qualified buyers instead of making our own high qualified buyers, okay? And then finally, data equals accountability. So that's why I'm saying don't actually accept those excuses. When the sales rep says those leads suck, no problem. Quick pause. Lawyers, why do lawyers ask questions? It's not to learn things. Not to do that either. It is to take people from psychological point A to psychological point B. Lawyers only ask questions they already know the answer to control the conversation. You ask any person who's good at sales who's controlling the conversation, and the answer is simple. Whoever asked the questions. If your sales rep's talking all the time, they ain't in control. If they're asking questions they know the answer to all the time, they're absolutely in control. And so this is where we're going to ask the question, hey, what happened with those leads? You should already have all this information before you ever ask what happened with those leads, because then they get to make their excuse. Then you get to come in with the mommy or daddy knowledge. Oh, I understand how you feel like that, but what it says in these numbers, and numbers don't lie, is that blah, 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 blah. So now, do you mind if I ask, do you think it's possible that you could have done this if you had this tactic? Okay, cool. The expectation is this. There, now we had a coaching conversation about it. And it wasn't just, why didn't you do better? It's the end of the month. We didn't hit goal. So anyway, that's some sales manager candy. And then the sales professionals, this is really where I want to chat with everyone about, because this is where I'm passionate, improving the quality of life of sales reps. Everyone is in sales, whether or not you realize it. Marketing, you're all in sales. Remember we just talked about getting that consensus? You got to sell your owners. You got to sell your sales reps. You got to sell your managers. You're in sales. Sales managers, obviously you're still in sales, but maybe not in the way you still think. You got to sell your team on buying into your ideas. You got to sell your team on the fact that they should actually listen to you for coaching and you're not just wagging your finger at them, stuff like that. And when it comes to the customers, what we need to do is have this paradigm shift in our mentality where selling cars does not sell cars in 2019. Helping people into the showroom sells cars in 2019 because that's our new on-base percentage. So we got to leave behind these old school phrases like, well, can I get you to? And instead use things that put the customer in control. Like, would it make sense for you to? Because who's all heard of all these closing tactics before? God, I hate those. Things like, oh, well, I could sell an icebox to Eskimos. Guess what? They don't need it. You're just literally creating a bad stereotype for our profession by bragging about that. Yeah, well, that's a different topic. JP's smarter than me. But the point here is we want to talk about the illusion of control. It's 2019. The illusion of control works. Choice close, that doesn't work. Drop close, that doesn't work. The illusion of control close works. And the illusion of control is where we acknowledge all the unlimited options that a customer has today. Okay, so as an example, if I'm calling you, we're setting up a sales meeting, you know how I'm going to start that call? Why'd you take the call? Someone might be like, well, because you persisted. What do you mean, why'd I take the call? You're the sales rep. Well, sure, I know, but I realized you had an option to not take my call, you had an option to not book the call, you had an option to hang up on me, you had an option to not show up to the meeting. Like, why did you honestly show up for this meeting? The focus is on them. The focus is on, listen, if I'm wasting your time, I'll part ways right now, but I can probably do something pretty helpful for you. And so that illusion of control is where we acknowledge all these options that the user has, and we educate and we help them and we say, you have this option, I know you see that, but have you considered this option? Have you considered the pros and cons? And we're not asking, would you be interested? We're asking, I work with a lot of clients who insert what they just said there, and I help them with key benefit. Do you mind if I ask, do you ever run into that? Perfect, that's actually what I help my clients with. I help them to, and then say what you want to say. As opposed to, well, no, actually, the list price isn't what you'd ever get for it. What you'd get is the dealer price, and that's, you know, we got to do our overhead, we got to recondition the car, all that stuff. And then the customer leaves, says they're not happy with the value. Were they not happy with the value, or were they not happy with how you related to the customer and explained the value? Because believe me, some other good sales rep is going to explain that value in a way that relates to the customer, and they're not going to complain about the value. So we have a financing thing, we have a new piece of inventory, we have a. It doesn't matter what you have. You have 20 problems that you could potentially solve for a customer. If you're going to talk about those all day, might as well put a blindfold on and just keep pinging darts at a dartboard. But what we can do is go, I noticed that you. I noticed that you took this action. I noticed that you filled out this online form. I noticed that you were on our website and you took this action, okay? Prospect knowledge beats product knowledge. If everyone online shopping is seeing this Nissan Sentra has this feature and this price and blah, 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 and they can get that from everywhere, and everywhere says, well, yeah, I'll give you a sales call, when can you come in? But you're the one sales rep that picks up the phone and goes, I'm not looking to sell you anything. In fact, I'm kind of disappointed with how the car industry works today, and that's why I was calling you. I wanted to be someone different for you. Someone's going to be like, whoa, maybe I'm not ready to buy a car, maybe I don't like the dealership, whatever, but I like this person. And I'll at least tell the person, you know what, I'm not ready to buy a car right now, and you had great response time on those leads, but I'm okay for right now. You at least have contact. You at least have a conversation going. And now starts the online version of, oh, not ready to buy? No problem. I wasn't going to ask you to buy. But let me ask, you just took this action with your trade-in. What about credit? Do you know what your credit situation is? Oh, interesting. Well, I could actually help you with that. If you don't mind my asking, why don't you come in? I could have my F&I manager actually show you what rate you'd get approved for, but I can see your credit rating here because you use this tool, so I know you'd get approved. This is like your golden ticket. Just come on down, pick out whatever you want. I know you'd get approved. I'm not trying to sell you a car. I'm saying I can help you do your research. I know you would get this if you came into the showroom. Not I would get a sale, you would get this. And so that's where it's really, really important to focus on, and I know this is gonna sound harsh, but again, my social skills suck and my process is sound. Sales professionals, nobody cares what you want. Nobody cares. And the second you embrace that belief and go, what I want doesn't matter, the only thing that matters is why did you come into the dealership today? What need did you have? Well, I'm looking for a minivan. I'm looking for a Chrysler Pacifica. No, you're not. Why did you come in? Is it getting the kids to work? Is it that you want something that actually looks really good and you don't want to be the schlep around mom? Like, what is it? Like, tell me the real problem. It's like when I interview 1 million sales reps and ask, okay, why do you want this job? What's their answer? Money. Oh, well, I want the money. Yeah, I don't care about that. What do you want to do with the money? Is it that you want clubbing? Is it that you want a cottage? You want to take care of your family? Like, that's what I really want. Because what's happening as sales professionals is we're selling the drill. We're not selling the hole. And you got to sell the hole. Does anyone know what I mean by that? Nobody cares about whether or not the drill is corded or cordless. People care where the fence is or where they got to make the drill. If it's by an outlet or if it's not by an outlet, well, sales rep's going to say, you need this. But what we're doing is as sales reps, we're going, this drill has a battery pack, and this drill has a cord, and this drill has a blah, blah, blah. When really what we got to say is, hey, what do you need the drill for? Oh, you got to drill a hole. Cool. Do you mind if I ask, where's the hole? Oh, cool. It's in the back. How far is that from your nearest outlet? Oh, okay, interesting. Well, based on that, it sounds like you need this feature. Just before I recommend something to you, do you mind if I ask, what material are you drilling through? Is it wood? Is it steel? What is it? Oh, cool. Based on that answer, well, what you really actually need is a drill that's going to work at this power. Okay? That is helping. That is the new selling in 2019. You're not telling them about the features. You're understanding the problem they're trying to solve. And then what you say about the features is the smallest part of the sale. You should understand so much by that point that someone is saying, hey, I'm ready to buy. Perfect. I was just about to ask you because we covered the whole thing. Anyway, so financing offers. That's a good thing that everyone tries to talk about, right? Well, what about just asking them if they know their credit rating? Because they're going to give you one or two answers. Yes or no? Yes? Perfect. Can I show you what rate you'd get? No? Perfect. Can I help you figure that out? Come into the dealership. I got experts. You probably get to a point doing online research where you're like lost and all the answers are general. I'm not trying to sell you a car. I was just hoping I could help you with your research. Okay? God, this is one of my favorite ones. Politeness does not equal persuasion. Who makes a lot of phone calls still today? Me. Beyond a lot. Who makes a lot of personal phone calls, though? Yeah, I mean, I can talk and I still don't want to take a call. My fiance will not pick up the phone, like not to save her life, not to set an appointment, not to take a call from her family, like text her or you're going to assume she's dead. But my point here is a lot of the times every human is going through all this fear of rejection, right? Especially your new reps who you just hired and you're saying, hey, can you do this? And it's always the new reps that we put on the internet leads, right? So that new rep is going to be so afraid of getting hung up on, and guess what they're going to do? Hey, how are you today? What? I don't even know you. You don't care how I am. That's trying to build rapport, wherever rapport is. 20 years ago, that's where rapport is. Credibility, there's so much choice out there. Everyone's got a friend that they're buying from, and everyone's got a friend that they don't buy from because they know the friend so well, they know they're not going to give you the best price. Rapport in 2019 exists, but it's really diminishing. Credibility is what sells in 2019. Because let me ask you this, who's polite on the phone in 2019? Sales reps. That's it. That is it. If I pick up the phone and ask, how are you? What are you trying to sell me, buddy? If I pick up the phone, hey, sorry, sir, you weren't actually expecting my call, but I'm calling from Auto Verify. I was wondering, could I steal a quick second? Awesome. Now let's take it to the car dealership world. Hey, Mr. Customer, listen, I know you weren't expecting my call, but it's Dan Liska calling from Finch Chrysler. I know you weren't expecting my call, but you had just come online and got a quick trade-in value. I was wondering, could I steal a second from you? I don't care how you are. I'm saying, this is who I am, this is where I'm calling from, this is the action you took, and this is what I want to talk to you about. Can I have permission? Illusion of control. Okay, yes, you can have 60 seconds. Perfect. Well, remember that action you took? Now I'm going to ask you another question. Do you mind if I ask, is that true? You actually have that car, a 2014 Chrysler 300 or something? Yes? Perfect. That's why I called you so quick. We'd like to buy your car. I was just wondering if there was a time, maybe later this week or something, that you could come into the showroom. My manager would look it over and give you an offer. And honestly, I don't make this call too much, but really, when your trade-in lead came in, my manager tapped me on the shoulder and said, we would sell your car immediately. You really wanted me to call you. So anyway, I know you weren't expecting my call. I know you weren't, I know you're just doing some online research, but we'd really like to buy your car. Was wondering if you could come in. What am I selling there? Nothing. I'm trying to offer them an offer on their car. Because guess what? Guess what's important about that toll gate of they took an action? This is where we're talking about sales rep excuses again. Oh, they weren't looking to buy a car. They were just curious what their trade-in was worth. Yeah? Is that much fun for you, collecting trade-in reports? Nobody's doing that just for fun. They're doing it because they're somewhere on the car buying journey. And you need to know that if they're at the point of wondering what their trade-in is, they're going to tell you, I'm not interested in buying a car. Why would they be interested in buying a car? because they haven't figured out what their trade is worth. They don't even know what their financing is. So there's all these little stops on the journey to buying a car that don't change. And what's happening is they're all running a marathon right now, and we're all hanging out at the finish line going, hey, come to me, come to me, come to me. The best dealers at digital are hanging out halfway before the race is done with a cup of water. They'll be like, hey, you thirsty? There you go. Now they like you before they've got to the finish line. And let me tell you something, if you teach someone how to box, when they go to step in the ring, they will buy gloves from you, period. Why in the would they buy from anyone else? You can't buy trust. So anyone thinking that the customer's price shopping everyone nowadays, you're just connecting with them too late. There's something called the bond of joint discovery that happens in sales. This isn't auto sales, this is just sales knowledge. The bond of joint discovery is what happens when the buyer and the seller acknowledge the problem at the same time. So, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. If you don't understand digital, if you don't understand digital, if you don't understand digital, and I call you and help you understand a problem that you didn't know you had before, we have the bond of joint discovery. We have the bond that exists when I helped you understand that you had a problem you didn't think you had. And it's the same for buying a car. You had a trade-in report. I know you're not interested in buying a car. I was just hoping to help you with the very next step. And by the time they actually are ready to buy a car in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, guess who they want to buy from? Because why on earth would they waste their time to try to find someone else they can trust? When they know they can trust you, you just helped them and you weren't trying to sell them a car. Yes, you were. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Quick little bit of the objections. I got to clear up here. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about objection handling for a second. Remember the choice close, stuff like that? And this is really where we'll kick off here, because this is the most important thing for the sales reps right now. Because telling is not selling. And if telling was selling, everyone would be in sales, everyone would make $1 million, it would be so easy. But selling is asking the questions. So as an example, customer doesn't have time. Well, it'll save you time to do this. That's not going to work. What will work is softening, confirming, aligning, and trial closing. Softening, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Of course you say that. I completely agree with you. I would be crazy to not think that. These are all different ways to soften up what we're about to say. Confirm, we're going to prove that we understand their concern so well that we're going to elaborate on it. So if the concern was, I saw a higher value somewhere, well, that doesn't surprise me at all. A lot of my clients say they found higher values on wherever they said they found it, Kijiji, Auto Trader, your website, whatever. Then we're going to align. We're going to do what lawyers do. We're going to ask 3 questions that we already know the answer to in order to get them on our side. So that doesn't surprise me at all. A lot of my clients say they find higher prices on Kijiji or Auto Trader, something like that. But do you mind if I ask, when was the last time you sold something on Kijiji? Oh, interesting. Well, the reason I ask is also all those clients I work with, they told me that the list price is never actually what it's sold for. Have you ever run into that? Yeah, cool. And it kind of takes a lot of time and frustration. Do you mind if I ask? Like, do you got a lot of time to sell a car on your own? You got a lot of experience in that? Oh, no? Interesting. Well, and they actually want to buy a car from someone they can trust, not run into someone that promises this and then gives them this, or maybe something goes wrong with the car. They want someone to take it back. I mean, do you mind if I ask? Does that resonate with you at all? Oh, interesting. Well, so anyway, I know that you actually saw a higher value on Kijiji and you weren't thinking that maybe you wanted to trade your car to us, but it's totally up to you. Do you think there would actually be some value in coming in and exploring the values that I'm giving you now, knowing what you did about that Kijiji thing? So it doesn't matter whether it's Kijiji or whatever, but what matters is that you soften, confirm, align, and trial close instead of just going, no, actually, what a trade-in value is this. Because that's what happens. We just explain, we tell, we don't actually sell. Other than that, the mindset over the skill set, we've talked about that. You can't be selling cars. You got to be helping people into the showroom. Following a process, I'm going to shoot that over to the managers. And then finally, we got to arm ourselves with tools. So tools are your scripts. Tools are your email templates. Tools are your objection handle scorecards. These are some incredibly high-performing email templates. There's 2 really important things here. Number 1, and this changed my life, when I first heard that emails written at a college reading level are opened and replied to about 20% of the time compared to emails written at a grade 6 reading level or below, I can write smarter than this, but I don't because it costs me money. Okay, so, hey, just wanted to follow up on my recent email, but don't worry, I understand how busy you are. Didn't want my email to get lost in your spam. You just bubble it up and give them the subject line, okay? But very, very high-performing trade-in leads, simple email templates. You also want to have text message templates, too. If you're not connecting with the customer the way they want to be connected with, you're dead. That's an example of a very simple, personalized email template. The number one reason people aren't getting back to your emails right now, they're crappy templates, not good templates. They're templates that say, they're not specific to a lead source. It's an immediate autoresponder that says, hey, we're very proud of our dealership. We'd really love to let you know about a lot of specials. Hey, Bill, I'm Dan from Finch Chrysler. Thanks for coming online using our trade-in tool. Did you get the report okay? It's an email. I'm asking a question just to involve them. They might answer, they might not, but I sound like a real person. You have a 2014 Chrysler 300, right? If so, we'd like to buy it off you. Can we chat quickly? Thanks in advance. That is one of the highest performing email templates across over 800 dealerships in Canada. It's so simple. It's so personalized. There's no fluff. It's just credible. And it talks about the action, okay? And then from there, and this is the very last thing I'm going to land on because this is your home run. This is the freebie. Go to like useloom.com and get that tool for free because this has changed my life. You know how you can only send an email that big, but you probably got that much to say? You know how nobody actually clicks on and engages in emails? You know how everyone's telling you to do video? That's great, but what about for your web leads? Show them what they were doing online and respond with a video. Okay, instead of the call, instead of the email, send the call, leave the voicemail. Hey, it's Dan, wanted to buy your trade. Listen, I know you're super busy. I'm going to send you an email. Don't worry about calling me back. You know why? Nobody calls back voicemails. But what they do is check their voicemail and then check their email. So let's follow that trail. I'm going to leave you a voicemail, send you an email. On email, I'm going to send you an email, and that email's not an email, it's got a video. And that video says, hey, Mr. Customer, it's Dan calling from Finch Chrysler. Listen, I know you weren't expecting my call, blah, blah, blah. Would really like to buy your car. P.S., I noticed when you were online that you were checking out this car right here. If you wanted, when you came in for your trade, I could have one available, but don't worry, I know you were probably just doing some online research. The car we're trying to sell is a P.S. It doesn't matter compared to the problem that the person is trying to solve online when they're doing the research. Solve one problem they have, not the 9 they don't, and everyone will buy from you, I promise. And yeah, so that's really where it ends, but if you guys could take away anything, please help people into the showroom and you will just sell cars. If you try to bring people into the showroom to sell cars, you ain't selling cars. They're going to who's ever helping them into the showroom. Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. And finally, thank you, everyone! Thank you, everyone!
Before you go anywhere, let's give it up again! So, there's going to be questions. That was a hell of a lot of information.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm about the sizzle, not the steak. Anyone wants more information, I will send you guys the PDFs and all that stuff because I realize how much I talk.
So, who has a question for Dan?
It's okay if you don't. Like, you don't got to make them up. I'm just saying.
So, one comment.
Yeah.
I respect is that if you don't sell them a car because of your bad conversation, they're not taking the bus. I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
They're not going to come up and say, you know what, Dan, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get a bus pass and get back to you.
Yeah, right.
So, like what Dan said, it's really important to not tell and sell. Video, you know, most of the people in this room, Jason, John, yourself, myself, we live on video. You have to. One minute of video is worth 1.2 million words. And if, you know, Dan's well-spoken, you could do that all really closely. Imagine if that was an email. Holy crap, it's from my mom. Right? So.
Anyone got an email from me? That's why nobody reads my emails.
Yeah.
Video.
So, first of all, Dan, thank you so much. The depth of knowledge is great. John's presentation, Dan's presentation will be available. We'll make sure you all get a copy of it. So, again, thank you so much. Let's give it up for Dan again. Whoop, whoop. And we're going to take a 5-minute break just to get reset. And then the next point will be Jason Harris. Grab a drink, grab food, grab everything.
Yeah, everybody grab a drink. I sound much better after you had a drink.
Oh, yeah.
told you I suck at social skills, but I actually know what I'm fucking talking
That
about.
was excellent, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You're sweat. I was like, I can give you water.
Oh, thank you so much. That was probably the best sip of water I've ever had.
I'll grab the mic off you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Just put it down your shirt.
Great job, bro.
Hey, thanks, man. Woo. Getting that sweat on.
Put it right down.
Awesome. There you go. It was awesome. Very well done. Thank you.
There you go. We're good.
That is the final one, right? Not the.
That's the final. This one's the finale. Yeah, I love that. No. I don't.
They don't even revise. I think they're replying. Sergio, all right.
You ever hear back from Ryan? Is he okay?
I don't know. I don't know if he's caught in traffic. Message him again.
Message him, make sure he's
Maybe
okay.
still with his client. I don't know.
Maybe. That's fine. That's cool. I just want to make sure. I just want. Or he, you know, whatever. I don't judge. I want to push my naked body up against the glass, going, "Oh, Billy."
But you don't want to do that.
No.
Not
Oh, against
there.
that glass.
Maybe that.
Oh, Billy. You're gonna get me killed. I believe in magic. There's feelings everywhere.
Exactly, and then most teams are frustrated with that. What you say is, yeah, but does anyone read or believe them? Yeah. And yes, they do. People, by and large, as online researchers, are very used to those shifts. And
Buddy, how you doing?
I'm happy customer.
Hey. Oops. How's it going?
Oh, not bad.
I got one of these, but it's for an enema.
It's for anyone. Kind of different. A little.
Let me take you to the bathroom. We'll see.
That's sanitary.
Oh, I get out of your way.
Are we gonna get this video?
Yeah, we're gonna give the video.
Whatever, you know.
The video will be up in parts of it. Jason will have copies of it. The live link will be available shortly.
Okay.
But the copy of the slideshow will get you. Absolutely.
Okay.
Stand on an angle, you'll get it better because you won't get the light reflecting in it. So if you want a picture of it, stand there and have them pick you there. You won't get the light, and it'll be a better picture. You, sir, a good-looking man.
You with the ties, man.
I had to manage a team of distributor reps that weren't direct employees for him, but I had to get them to think about
See the Asian glow yet?
Yep, I was gonna send you the fisting video, but I figured that wasn't the best.
with their customers. So as an example, you could do all that review support at the very
A little deeper. It's called the elbowing, but it's not. That's disgusting. It's only disgusting to pull it too early. It's not. Everybody, 2 more minutes. We'll get started again. Hi, everybody at home. It's never off. How you doing? That was good. Dan was great.
It's kind of sad because nobody will ever do anything about it.
No, that's not true.
Oh, come on.
Someone will say, I don't like that guy, and not do anything about it.
No, they'll just switch softwares. Or...
Yeah, it's still good, though.
How was your interview this morning?
John slept in. Didn't come. I was down there talking to them for a bit, reestablished the relationship, and realized how bad they are off financially. The girl who was in charge of it left, quit, because she wasn't getting paid. And I basically told them that I would talk to them again if they brought her back. But they're lost. They're lost. So.
Jason showed?
No, Jason called me in the morning at 9 a.m. and said the guy who wrote my PowerPoint presentation fucked it right up, so I'm not coming. But he told me at 9 a.m. So John slept in. Mr. Sinden? Mr. Chris Sinden?
Sounded like came from over there.
How you doing, buddy? You enjoying yourself?
Yeah. Dude, where do you guys find these people?
Under rocks and shit.
Seriously good content, man.
Dan?
He has, I think, a solution for something that my company is grappling with. As like yesterday, there was a whole back and forth from the owner down. Like we were all dealing with it. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, good. I have it right here. I'm going to give it to you in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Everybody,
that's right there.
go and take your seat. Good. We'll talk to Dan. Everybody, have a seat. We're going to get last part. Niall, are we live? I want to say hi, Mom. She's not watching, but she doesn't care. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah. Well, everyone get seated, and we will get started in just 2 seconds. So, welcome back to Ones at Home. Just a quick housekeeping announcement. After Jason's done, we're going to all go to the lounge for a few minutes. We're going to redo this for dinner. By the way, the dinner is awesome. You guys having fun so far? Yeah? That sucked! You guys having fun so far? Yeah! Thank you. For you if you haven't figured it out yet, male bathroom, that side. Women's bathroom, that side. Please, there's private bathrooms here. Please help yourself. Ladies, we've built it for you. It's right by Serena Williams. Today is sports day in Toronto, of course. We have, who's playing tonight? Everybody? The Raptors. We are at the Blue Jays game where they won last night. And what starts today? The Women's World Cup with Christine Sinclair. Let's give it up for the women of Canada. So, woo, they play on Saturday morning. We're all really lucky to be part of this great event. We're lucky. Thank you for Jason. Thank you for Jason and the crew. Josh, Niall, everybody. We really appreciate it. We thank our bar staff because without you, we would be nothing. Right? We put these on, Jason puts these on with his crew so that everyone can learn and everyone can grow, right? You wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be here and you wanted to develop. So, first of all, good job for you guys. I like clapping. I like clapping. So, Jason loves it when I do this. If you didn't know already, I'm loud. I'm proud. That doesn't sound right. I'm loud. I was a strip club announcer. I was a bouncer in a strip club for like 5 years, and one night the MC slash guy that does the announcing, the DJ, got sick. He's like, I can't do it tonight. I need someone else to announce the ladies. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in. So I'm lucky enough to be a cancer survivor, which gave me the better strip club announcer voice. So without further ado, and for the millions watching around the world, please welcome your stage for your viewing pleasure and her friend Chantal. I'm sorry, wrong lanes. Jason Harris and his knowledge of love. Jason Harris.
You know that never gets old, right? I know you're going. I'm not going to touch your butt. All right, I'm going to touch your butt. He just want me to touch his butt.
I do what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right, yeah. All right, guys. How's everyone? Yeah. How's everyone doing? You guys having fun? Yeah. You're all liquored up, so you're good for mine? Everyone asks me, why do you go last? I'm like, well, for good reasons. I got just money falling out of my pockets or something. Oh, someone's throwing money at me. What the hell? Oh, God. I'm like, what? I thought it was coming out of my pockets. Jeez, you guys make it so difficult for me to concentrate here. Hey, guys, a lot of you guys know who I am here, but I'll do a quick intro. My name is Jason Harris. Thank you. I run a automotive-specific digital marketing company called Digital Dealership Solutions. I also do strategy with Jason, which has got a great series of podcasts and information and just a great way for you guys to educate yourselves, sales teams, sales managers, floor managers, general managers, owners. It's an awesome resource for you guys just to continue to educate yourself. Also, if you guys don't know, we also do run a nonprofit. Our nonprofit is called Bell to Bell. I think some of you guys have actually drank our coffee. It is called Closers Coffee. You guys can check us out, belltobell.ca. All proceeds for the sales of the shirts and the hats and the sweaters, and of course the coffee, all gets donated to Sick Kids Hospital. So we love your guys' help there. That's absolutely awesome. So just so you guys know, this is actually how my team views me, is as a hot dog. As a hot dog. I asked them to put together a little avatar of me, and this is what they came up with. I don't know. Listen. Okay, maybe, yeah, all right. I've been in the industry for over 15 years. I'm originally from the States, so please don't hold it against me. I've been in Canada for the last 11 years, which has been absolutely amazing. I've had an opportunity to really learn from the industry and learn from just an amazing crew and amazing people in our Ontario area and across Canada. All right, fun fact, guys. A dealership can no longer just meet the expectation of a customer. We have to exceed the expectation of the customer, okay? So let me kind of break that down. All right, it's not enough that we just sell or service the customer's car. We actually have to go beyond just selling and servicing the car. Today, guys, what we're going to talk about is experience, the customer experience. Now, there are a lot of different elements when it comes to customer experience. I'm going to talk about a few of them today. We're going to talk about a few parts of the online experience, the in-dealership experience, and then the after-sales experience. The after-sales experience, I don't think it's enough attention, all right, and there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm going to start with the online experience. We're going to start with the home page because that's really kind of that first impression that your customer gets of you and what you guys want to say. A cluttered website isn't an aesthetic problem as much as it's actually a business problem, okay? Guys, your homepage on your website, that first experience that the customer gets, that first touch point the customer gets with you is incredibly important. And if it is nothing but just cluttered, that's what we're telling the customer. That's how we kind of operate. This is a typical dealership website. I know you guys are laughing, all right? But there are a ton of home pages out there that look exactly like this, okay? But a really interesting fact, actually, I couldn't even click on this image. It wasn't a clickable image, all right? There are still a lot of people out there, it is. There's still a lot of people out there that are viewing their home page as just a glorified brochure. And it's not, guys. This is literally the front door to your business. What are you telling your customer on the front door of your business if it looks like this?
It looks like you're concentrating on one thing only, and that is just moving that metal and getting it out as humanly possible. All right? What we'd like to see is a simple homepage design that welcomes your audience and tells them what they want, what they should be looking forward to doing next. Okay? Something very simple like this. This is what a homepage experience should look like. That front door should just be asking, hey, welcome, how are you today? Where would you like to do? Would you like to check out my parts? Would you like to go to service? Would you like to check out new car sales, used car sales? All right, clean and simple. This is what the customer is looking for today. Not that bombarding them with message after message of sell, sell, buy, 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 discount, discount, discount. All right, clean and simple is what the customer is looking for. All right, a customer that goes to a cluttered website, all right, over 34% of customers that go to a cluttered website will actually just leave. If it's not clean and simple and direct to where they want to go next, they're just taking off, they're bouncing. In some cases, it can even be higher than that. First impressions are 94% design related. First impressions are 94% design related. Okay? Take the time and ask yourselves, do I want my customer's first impression of me to be this? Or do I want my first impression or their first impression of me to be this? Okay? This is all controllable, guys. I know we all have website providers, but you need to sit down and talk to your website providers and say, what kind of initial experience is my customers getting? Let's talk about inventory. God, guys, I can't believe I'm still talking about inventory, by the way. 2019 and I'm still talking about this. It still kind of blows my mind. It gets my blood boiling a little bit sometimes, right? I still can't believe that we have, dealerships that still aren't putting their inventory out there, that aren't merchandising it properly with images, not merchandising it properly with video, with proper payments, proper pricing. But guys, this is a big deal, and I still can't believe we're talking about this, but we really are. A bad SRP page can lower leads by 30%. SRP page, everybody know what that is? Search results page? Okay, that's your inventory page. Okay, 30%, a bad one. I have a lot of dealerships that go, Jason, I just want more leads. I need more leads. I'm going to sell more cars if I need more leads. Well, have you walked through that process that your customer's taken on your website? Have you looked at that homepage? Have you looked at that shopping experience? And those SRP pages is their first shopping experience. Does it look something like this? This is one of a lot of websites, guys, I found. And this did not take me long. I spent a whole whopping maybe 15 minutes and found easily 10 examples of search results pages that looked like this. Yeah, no pictures. The site migrated. Oh, you thought this was yours? No, it's not. But yeah, it's a similar one. That's funny. See, look at that. Oh yeah, that's right. It is. Actually, you're right. It is. Hold on a second. Man, I thought I removed that. Yeah. Okay. I'll just put this tagline down here. What the fuck? All right, pictures. Or at least with the payments up there, right? But really no engagement. A good SRP page can actually increase leads by over 40%. And you guys will see this. Plus, you do get to see this because you just migrated over. All right. This is what the customer's expecting now. This is the customer's expectations. Okay? Look at that. See that? I got great pictures. I got great call to actions. I have breakdowns of the price, the finance options, the lease options with clear descriptions as far as what my cost of borrowing is, what my interest rate are, what's the estimated buyout for the lease, everything right there. This is what the customer expects. Again, we're just at expectations. We haven't exceeded the expectations yet. This is just now the expectation. This is a transparent shopping experience. If your guys' dealership doesn't have this, you guys need to have this. It's literally the expectation now. This expectation will drive increased engagement. All right? You're going to see a huge amount of engagement when you come out with such a transparent search results page as this is right here. fun fact, guys, online forms are the highest converting lead generation tool at a dealership's disposal. Some funny fact about forms I've seen, because I work with roughly around 100 dealerships, have been now for a while, and over the last 4 to 5 years, I've seen nothing but just a decrease in leads. Has everybody kind of seen that? Has everyone kind of seen a consistent kind of small decrease in leads, less forms being filled kind of over a period of time? If we do not build value in the form, the customer will never fill it out. This is what I find on over 70% of dealerships' websites. This is a trade-in form, by the way. I have no idea what the value is here. In fact, actually, let's read it out real quick. Please fill out the information below, and one of our representatives will contact you to get your vehicle appraised. Sweet. So sweet. So yeah, I get to fill out a form just so someone can contact me and then give me that information. There is no value to the customer in any way or form for them to fill this out. Actually, I thought it was even funnier too, is that we're actually going to force them to also give us their phone number. It's a requirement that they give us their phone number. All right? We're not giving them the option to actually choose how they want to communicate with us. We're going to tell them how. We're going to force them into a way that they have to give us a phone number. All right? Do you guys see any value? I mean, if you put your customer hat on here, would you guys want to fill this out? No. And this is kind of a consistent thing, right? Look, the consumers have gotten smarter. All right? What they want to see from you guys is an explanation of why I should fill out this form. Okay? It's the what and why. All right? What happens after I fill out the form? Is anybody explaining that to their customers? No. I'll tell you right now, I've been on a lot of websites. Very few dealerships out there are actually explaining to their customers what happens after the form gets filled out. Even more so, we never explain to them why they should fill it out. What is the benefit to them? We all know what the benefit to us is. All right? I get someone to call. I get a potential lead. I get to sell a car. All right? You got to build the value with them. A well-designed and informative form can increase conversion by 200%. 200%. This is just slowing down, taking the time, looking through your website forms, and just asking yourselves, are we clearly defining what the what and why is? This is a great example. Larry Hudson Chevrolet, okay? Thinking of trading in your vehicle? With only a few pieces of information, Larry Hudson's Chevrolet Buick GMC can show you what your vehicle is worth before you trade in. With an awesome little video of explaining the what, the how, and the why in a quick little 45-second video. As a consumer, I can see the value and why I should take these next steps. I'm going to receive instantaneously. I'm going to get it right there. We're going to show you right now. It's not the, here, fill out this information, and then we'll get someone to call you about it. Okay? I receive the information right now. Then the video goes through and actually explains to them what happens next. All right? Someone's going to reach out to them. So now the expectation is that someone's going to reach out. It's the what and the why. Any questions about forms before I move on? No? Cool.
Jason, I got a question.
Shoot.
So videos, if you're using a video to support the form, will give you a better engagement, correct?
We've actually seen up to 200% better engagement on those forms. Really? By putting a simple video, guys. Look, guys, we're not talking about crazy production in your video, okay? We're really, talking about you holding your phone, not like this, okay, but just nice and still, and just clearly explaining to what happens when I fill out the form, and then why I should. What is the value to me as a consumer to fill out this form? Because the consumer already knows that the value is all already in the dealership's hands. They need to know what value is for them. Now let's go into the in-dealership experience. Now look, guys, there's a lot more to do with the online experience, but these are the three that I felt that were really important that we needed to go over, okay? So you got home pages, search results pages, okay, and forms. If you focus just on those three things, I can guarantee you're going to increase your lead conversion like an easy 30% with those three things. Take the time, be the consumer, All right, deep dive into what that online experience is going to be. Now let's talk about the in-dealership experience, the meet and greet. You have 7 seconds to make an epic first impression. So guys, I'll tell you a quick story. So when I first started in this industry, I had a manager. And at first I actually thought this manager was a total dick, right? Every single day that we came into work to sell cars, all right, we had to verbatim do the meet and greet with him before we could go to the floor. In fact, actually, if you couldn't do the meet and greet verbatim, you got sent home. Like literally just sent home, all right? About 2 or 3 times of me being sent home. I was like, shit, I better commit to really remembering this thing, okay? For the longest time, I thought this guy was just being a total dick until I really realized what he was doing. He was building a consistent process and building a way to present the information consistently to the customer every single time. 7 seconds. That's all we got. 7 seconds. We definitely don't want it to look anything like this. Yes, like that.
Can I help you, ma'am? Yeah. As soon as your husband gets here, I'll be more than happy to show you all the features.
Actually, it's for me.
Well, then no need looking under the hood. Here's where the cup holders are, and there's the rear view mirror. That's where you can put on your makeup. And this is the steering wheel here. It's what you use to drive with. Hey, honey, come on back here. Tired?
Guys, it's crazy to think these videos are actually almost 20 years old. Is that crazy? That's nuts, but still incredibly relevant today, all right? I know this is a little bit of an elaborate, version of what a meet and greet kind of looks like. I'll tell you right now, guys, I spend my time in hundreds of dealerships, all right, every single year across the nation, and I can tell you there are still people out there that are meeting, greeting customers in this way. It's crazy, but it's true. We should be meet and greeting with a story, okay? Look, you gotta understand, guys, consumers they buy products, they buy services, but they buy the story of the product and the story of the service way before they actually buy the product and service. Does that make sense? We're buying into the story of that, right? There are three great stories that every dealership has, all right? And you guys, if you haven't defined what these 3 stories are, you need to take the time to do so, all right? The first story is a story of the dealership, okay? Why does the dealership do what they do? Okay. Not how long you guys have been in business, okay? Not the fact that you're family owned. That's cool. I don't technically care about that crap anymore, okay? It's true. Look, at the end of the day, there was a point in time, all right, in our marketing efforts, that being a family-owned business held some weight to the consumer's perspective, okay? They perceived there was value in being a family-owned business, okay? That's not the case anymore, all right? There are huge companies that are family-owned. In fact, some of the biggest dealer groups that we have in Canada right now are family-owned and run businesses. That's not the story, okay? The story is, what does it mean to you guys to be family-owned? It's the why. We all know what we do, right? We sell cars and we service vehicles. That's what we do. But why do we do it? What is your why? That's your dealership story. Do you do it because you guys are actively want to support, all right, your community? Do you guys is your why because you want to be a part of that one of the largest purchases this consumer will ever make? Okay, what is your why? Why do you guys get up in the morning? Why do you flip on these lights? Why do you guys, open up the dealership even though 3 months out of the year, you'll probably won't even break even, okay? Why? Why do you guys do that? And this needs to come out in that meet and greet, okay? So that's one. You got the dealership story, all right? Second story is of the product, okay? Every product has a story, not the brochure story, okay? Your story. I want to hear your version of the story, why the Telluride is a cool new vehicle, right? Or why the Toyota Corolla, is the best economical vehicle out there. Look, I've already read the brochure. I get it, okay? But I want to hear from you what the product story is, okay? The third story is actually the manufacturer story. So a lot of people in here are familiar. I had a Mitsubishi dealership, right? I bet you a lot of you guys are not aware that there was actually a fight to the death, a samurai fight to the death for the rights to open Mitsubishi Motors. A guy actually had to die for Mitsubishi Motors to be started, all right? This is a story I actually regularly shared with people. In fact, I even had a little samurai in my showroom just so I could share the story of it, right? It's a cool story, all right? There's a reason why you guys out there, you see people walking around with jackets that say Mopar on the back, right? Or Mazda on the back, or Mercedes on the back, or BMW on the back, right? It's or Nissan on the back, yes. Right? It's because the consumer has bought into that manufacturer story. Do not expect the customer to be already bought into that manufacturer story just because they showed up. That is your guys' responsibility to do so, okay? Now, during the meet and greet, the first story I think should always come out is actually the story of your dealership, okay? What makes you unique? Here's just a quick example.
Well, we're the largest automotive retailer in the country. We own over 300 stores in 16 states. This actually gives you the largest inventory to choose from. Everything we do is based on transparency. Our worry-free folder includes a complimentary Carfax, a safety inspection report, and a work order showing all of the reconditioning we have completed on the vehicle. All of this is designed to give you peace of mind.
Our worry-free folder. I dig that. By the way, this video is like almost 8 years old. Okay? Our worry-free folder. Okay? That's a cool story. Is anybody in here right now talking to their customers about the worry-free folder that they provide to their customers? No. Guys, this is what I want to buy into. This is what the customer wants to hear. Okay? I love the idea of a worry-free folder. Any questions about that, guys, before I go on? You guys down with doing verbatim meet and greets? Creating a standardized process, developing out your dealership story and making sure that the story is a part of that meet and greet?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Payment presentation. Oh, man. This is a good one. I got so many thoughts on the payment presentation. I'm trying to eliminate the amount of 4-letter words I use real quick. So just give me a second. Okay. All right. So guys, look at this. This is from the consumer's perspective, okay? So I've spent 60 to 90 days doing research and shopping on one of the largest purchases that I'm ever going to make in my life, okay? I walk into the dealership, I'm pretty jacked, pretty excited. The sales guy's doing a good job, the sales gal's doing a good job, and go on the test drive, and I love the smell of a new car. By the way, I've always thought that was kind of weird, right? Like how people like the smell of a new car. I'm like, you do know that it's just chemicals, right? It's literally just it's the plastic and foam just releasing chemicals out. But hey, I like the smell. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so all this energy is built, right? So it's like build. I get into the dealership, build. I come back from my test drive. Now I'm going to present you some payments. Oh yeah, here it goes. Energy level. Pretty much what happens in most dealerships, guys, by the way. I don't know if you like my sound effects. I'll maybe add some better sound effects later. Why do we start our payment presentation with a worksheet? With a fucking worksheet. And guys, this is a word that I hear used all the time. Hey, Mr. Customer, hey, thanks. It was a great test drive. Hold on one second. I'm going to get a worksheet. What the hell? I got to work now to buy this car? I mean, I spent the last 60, 90 days doing research and shopping, all right? I just went on this badass test drive. I'm super excited. Now we got to work for me to get a payment. Very common language. I literally hear it all the time, all right? So we fill out our worksheet, okay? Then that salesperson does what? They're going to disappear into the black abyss that is known as the sales manager's office. Seriously, right? All right? They're in that office for about 5 to 7 minutes. No freaking clue what the hell is going on back there. Not at all, all right? Heck, far as I know, they could be throwing back some beers, eating some pizza, more likely talking about me. Okay? Then they come back out with this. Oh, yeah. 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 That's cool. That's why. John, you know all about these. You know all about it. All right. Guys, seriously, this is what the customer is seeing. Now, look, have we gotten a little better with this? Are there digital versions of this now? Yeah. All right. Are they being like printed out? But the bottom line is still the same thing. Okay. We come out with a series of numbers. All right. Either printed or handwritten, sometimes barely legible. All right. With almost no to any fucking explanation at all how the hell we got to it. You know? Like almost none. Guys, think about this. 60, 90 days, energy, excitement. I got my test drive. I love this car. This is great. Everything blows up. I mean, literally, WTF. That's all I can say. All right? This is not the customer's expectations by any means whatsoever. Okay? There is not. So the other day, I went to go buy a new washer and dryer. Haven't bought a washer and dryer. Hey, guys, I'll tell you a really funny story. They didn't bring out a worksheet. They did. I was thinking kind of like, how funny would that be, right? Like I'm in Home Depot, I'm sitting there looking at the washer and dryers. Here comes a guy with a 4 square. So he's like, okay, so, all right, you put this much down. All right, we go over this term. Oh, wait, you can't put that much down? Well, okay, well, then we could focus on like, all right. We're the only industry that does this still, okay? Y'all just got to stop. Just stop doing it, okay? The payment presentation should be a positive and a transparent experience. Guys, like this should be, like, I mean, literally, come on, think. You're at the tippy top of the mountain of excitement with a customer. And we're right there. I mean, we're literally just right on that tip. All right? This is what it should look like. I call them payment presentation lounges or payment lounges or product lounges, whatever the hell you want to call it, just not a 4 square, okay? This is just a clean, open, welcoming environment where I can go in and discuss payments. By the way, round tables. You guys see that? Here's the funny thing, guys. Coming from the States, for years, almost every dealership I've ever worked in or ever been a part of has consistently always had round tables. Okay, like, I'll tell you right now, I can't stand desk. I hate desk so much, right? It's like, here's how this works. So you're going to sit on that side of the desk. I'm going to sit on this side of the desk, all right? I got my cards. You got your cards. We're instantaneously going to play a game of poker. That's what it is. It is literally just a psychological game of poker, okay? You sit next to the customer, and you work side by side. Your body language, everything changes. I've literally watched the body language in a customer between sitting at a desk and sitting at a round table dramatically change. Dramatically change, all right? Now I get to sit side by side with my family members and the salesperson and collectively together at something that somewhat resembles a kitchen table. Actually, at my dealership, they were IKEA kitchen tables. All right, and we can work side by side towards a goal and objective, okay? Look, they want to buy a car. We want to sell a car. Shit, let's do it together. You know? Very open and free. Now, I love the monitor up here. In fact, actually, that's something that we did at our dealership as well. We had monitors mounted up on the wall. Okay? That monitor that was mounted on the wall had our build and price function already up there. Okay? Here's what we ended up doing. We took the keyboard and the mouse and put it in the hands of the customer. Not my hands. I'm not making the payment. I don't want to be responsible for that. Look, if you create the payment, if you generate the payment, whose payment am I buying here? Yours, not mine. Okay? That keyboard and mouse and that cheap 50-inch screen up on the wall, all right, gave the customer the ability to build their own payment, to take ownership of their car. Okay? I had to do very little selling. My closing rate was incredibly high. All right? The amount of discounting I gave was very, very low. Why? Because I'm not the one that generated the payment. The customer did. You guys all have cool build and price functions. All right? Sometimes your manufacturer's got some. Sometimes the manufacturer don't. All right? You guys do have some deal functions. Like, what's the big deal? Just flip the screen around. The profit's the profit. It is what it is. You know? This gives that customer that opportunity to create, develop what that financing term or what that lease is going to term, and they will own that. You won't own that. Okay? If they don't like that payment, it's not your problem. You didn't make it. Payment too high? Well, okay. Well, that's their problem, not your problem. Okay? help them and work them through it. You get to do that side by side in a very transparent, very inviting, very welcoming environment. Okay? Every single dealership out there should do this. Every single dealership. New car, used car, it doesn't matter. All right? Now, I know some of your manufacturers might go, well, I don't know about that. It may not be part of our imaging. Okay? Well, they're not selling the cars, guys. You are. Any questions? Any questions real quick of what I call about a payment lounge? Product lounge? I don't know. I flip back and forth between the two words. You guys dig that? Yeah. Anybody going to go back and do it? Okay. We're going to stay there. All right. We talked about the meet and greet. We talked about the payment presentation. Here's another one of my biggest pet peeves is the service handoff. Okay? You gotta train your salespeople to understand that that purchase of that vehicle is only the first transaction of many, many, many transactions to come. Like they need to understand that, okay? Customers that regularly service with a dealership has a 173% higher probability of buying another vehicle from you, okay? Getting them to service with you is one of the most important parts of selling a car. But here's how it typically goes down. Hey, Mr. Smith, congratulations on buying your car. Hey, let's go out and we'll go over it real quick and we'll walk him through. Oh, hey, by the way, that's a service department. Yeah, see that guy? That guy, well, he'll take care of you afterwards. That's it. Or maybe I've seen a little better version of it. Salesperson will bring the customer over to the service department. Service advisor's on the phone. Hey, this is Hank, Mr. Smith. This is Hank. Hank's like, hey, how's it going? That's the extent, all right? Come on, okay? Sales and service need to deliver the car together. Together, okay? It was a mandate at my dealership that either a service advisor and a salesperson, or the service manager and the sales manager, whoever it was, but there was one representation from both departments there with the customer to deliver the vehicle. So that they knew that from the sales side and the service side, we had their back. And this is what the relationship was going to go through. Salesperson or the salesperson went through their portion of the delivery. Then the service advisor would step in and talk about some of the basic stuff. Like, here's your windshield wiper fluid. This is where you're going to put this in. Here's a couple things I also want you to look for. All right. You know, if the tires go low, there's going to be a light, a little squiggly line, whoops, and a little exclamation mark that comes up. Okay. Doesn't mean your car's exploding. Just means you're running low on air. Okay. Here's my phone number. Here's my card. All right. You call me. If you can't get a hold of this guy, I'm your guy. That's a proper service handoff. When we've seen that done, when it has been done, all right, we've seen well over a 60% increase in retention. 60% increase in retention. Here's the funny thing, guys, in our industry. And you know what? And everybody out here that's done deals and sold cars, you guys all know this, right? It is never a big thing that equates to the success or the failure of a deal, correct? Because if it was a big thing, we would know about it and we'd fix it. It is always a little thing. It is always little things that equate to the success or the failure of the deal. These are little things. These are little things that go a long, long, long ways. Now let's talk about the after-sale experience. Guys, there are more in-dealership experiences to go over, but again, these are just some of my favorites that I think if you guys were to take back to your dealership and start working on, start planning on, start implementing, you're going to see some considerable ROI literally right out of the gate. Okay? After sales experience, we're going to start off with communications. How many of you guys called into your own dealership and tried to set up a service appointment? Or order a part? Oh man, that's my favorite. Ring, 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 hold, 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 hold. Finally something comes on, parts, hold. Parts, hold. All right. Communication is insanely key. This is the expectation of the customer. All right. You know a customer spends roughly 43 days of their life on hold? 43 days. Almost a month and a half of our lives will be spent just Just with horribly hold music to top it off, right? All right. This is what the customer now expects. This is the expectation. Anybody watch Batman? I'm talking like not like no. I'm not talking like new Batman. I'm like, okay, well, clearly he did. He even had the tights to prove it. All right. The early Batman had this amazing device. I mean, guys, this was in the 60s. This was a mind-blowing piece of technology. The Bat phone. All right? Literally, you pick that phone up, boom, Batman was on the other line. Okay? That is your customer's expectations of you guys now. You may not like it. You may not want to agree with it. You may disagree with it. Bottom line is that is their expectation of you. All right? Their expectation is that you guys have a Bat phone. Okay? Let's talk about this, right? There's some amazing technology out there. We can have a Bat phone, can't we? Is it overly difficult for us to, get a couple of these devices and put them in front of our service advisors? Or have one for the sales manager? And if I am kept on hold, we can have a little joke about it. If you don't like being on hold and you want to talk to us now, you can text us at 905 ... Okay? They want a Bat phone to you. They want that immediate connection. All right? The cool thing is they don't necessarily expect that you're going to answer their problem or fix their problem right out of the gate. They just want to know that when they need you, and it is, because when it comes to service, guys, it's like they need you now. Like, my car is going tunk, 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 tunk. The engine bay is on fire. Please answer the phone. Probably not. All right? All right? There are lights on the dash. Like, I need to talk to them now. Okay? Ask yourselves how you guys could develop a Bat phone at your dealership. Because you could. If it was one of your goals and objectives, all right, you could define out the process necessary to create a Bat phone. And your customers will greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay. Value. Started this whole talk about how the expectation now is that we don't just meet the expectation, but we now actually have to exceed the expectation. Okay? I'll tell you real quick a little bit kind of how that looks. Amazon. Everybody Amazon? Raise your hands. Who are Amazons? Awesome. All right, everybody does. Okay. I just ordered another set of orange ties and orange shoes. I love it because they know my orders, right? I just go to it and like order history. Yeah, I need 3 more pairs. While we were actually here right now, all right, I got a little notification from Amazon with a picture, all right, of my front door. And in that picture was my orange ties, package for my orange ties, all right? My expectation is when I order from Amazon, they're going to deliver it to my house, okay? They met my expectation. They exceeded my expectation by providing a hugely high level of communication. High level of communication. And letting me know that the package is there, which was great, because then I got to text the wife and say, Amazon is outside. Please go get it. Okay? This is what the customer is now expecting of you guys, all right? You have to kind of think about that, right? If I sell the car, cool, I met the expectation. They bought a car. How do I exceed that expectation? An idea is only as good as how well we can execute on it. My company lives and dies by this idea, okay? There are tremendous ideas and opportunities to bring more value to the customer than the product or service you sell. But each one of those ideas are only as good as how well you can execute on them, okay? I'm going to give you guys a couple of those ideas. You guys are going to go, wait a second, what? What is it? Picnic tables and paddle boards? How in the world does that bring my customer more value? Well, I'll tell you guys a little story. 3 or 4 weeks ago, all right, we had that one day of sun that kind of popped up. Now it's consistent, but we had that one day of sun that kind of popped up during the weekend, and we were hanging out with the kids, and my kids came in and said, Dad, we want to go on a picnic. I'm like, nah. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I haven't been on a picnic. I've never taken my kids on a picnic, right? But I'm like, you know what? This is going to be their first picnic. I got 3 kids. They're 4, 6, and 8, okay? This is going to be their first picnic. So I'm going to take this opportunity, and I want to make sure that this is a memorable moment for them, okay? So I'm like, I'm going to do this up right. I'm going to get a picnic basket. So I go to Canadian Tire. I go to Canadian Tire to get a picnic basket. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get the picnic basket. I'm looking at these prices going, what the fuck? By the time I buy the picnic basket, all right, and the little cooler, and the silverware, and the cup, and the plates, and the little cups, all right, and then of course I had to get that, you know how it is, right? That red and white checkered, tablecloth. Then I guess you got to put weights on the end of those tablecloths. I didn't know those existed. They were pretty cool, like little corn on the cobs, kind of hang on the side. All right. I'm like, I got everything and I go in and check it out. $350. $350, and I haven't even bought the food yet. Damn, this is gonna be crazy expensive picnic basket, right? So okay, I bought it. We did it. We had our picnic. It was amazing, right? And as I'm putting the picnic basket up into the basement, thinking to myself, I'm probably never going to use this thing. Okay, I'm going, all right, this kind of sucks. So I got thinking to myself, well, you know what? How cool would it be if I could just rent a picnic basket? I mean, hell, any day, today I can pretty much just rent anything else. I can Airbnb, which we did tonight. All right. Has anybody used Turo? I love Turo, by the way. No, anybody use it? All right. It's the Airbnb of your car. All right, so I can actually just drive somebody else's car whenever I'm traveling. It's awesome, all right? How badass would it be if I bought a car at your dealership, all right, and the dealership owned 5 or 6 branded, beautifully well done picnic baskets, and just as an added value, all right, to the customer, that they are more than welcome to check out these baskets whenever the hell they feel like it. That'd be pretty sweet, all right? Talk about some serious brand equity, all right? Some serious brownie points. And guess what? You guys they're going to be out there. I can't tell you how many pictures I took of my picnic. I'm going to document the whole thing. Not as much as John, but I was documenting it. Okay. Your logo is sitting right there. Okay. An inexpensive way for you guys to provide additional value to your customer. So why do I got paddle boards up here? I actually have a dealership doing this. So I'm actually kind of excited about it, right? I love the idea of going to the lake and going paddleboard. Anybody have any idea how expensive these bloody ass things are? They're an easy G note, right? An easy $1,000. Plus, the other thing is where the hell I'm going to put it. I got this great semi-detached house with this one-car garage and a basement just full of crap. All right, I got no place to put this. So I have a dealership right now. They're a dealership that sells, off-road vehicles and SUVs, so that kind of falls into their category, kind of their wheelhouse, right? And they now own 4 or 5 of these branded, all right, paddle boards. And any of their customers that service or purchase a vehicle from them can now come in and check out these paddle boards and take them for the weekend. And the only thing the dealership asks is that when they're having fun to take a picture and just tag the dealership in it. That's it. That's the only thing they ask. Okay. This has been lighting up their social media. Every single weekend. They're now, they were struggling to get people to engage with them on social media. They were just struggling to do it. Now what they've done is they provided additional value that goes way beyond it. But it's cool. It's actually in line with what you guys do, right? We want to sell them a car. We want them to go out and experience that car. Okay? What better way to do that in your branded paddleboard? And the content's been great. Like, it's quite funny. Really, there's been some very funny videos, some great pictures, a lot of smiles, a lot of happy people. All right, local communities already talking about it. Now they're even talking about now buying another dozen of them just to kind of keep up with demand. Okay? Just a way to provide additional value to the customer. You're not just meeting their expectation, you're exceeding their expectation. Any questions about that, guys? Is that cool? Did that give you guys some ideas? How do you measure that? Yeah, just like social engagement. Social engagement is definitely one we're looking for. That's actually right now, if the dealership is doing this right now, it's social engagement. They're asking for one thing only, is that when they're out there having fun, tag a picture, right? Now, of course, they did just have one where it was a video that was tagged in it, and this person was having a hard time getting up on this board. It was like up, hey guys, how's it going? And they were completely off. And everybody's laughing in the background and having fun. That got tagged to their social media. A bunch of other people commented, hey, that's so much fun. I love doing that stuff too, right? And it just what it is now going to start developing out community around the dealership, right? You guys sell cars and service thousands of vehicles, all right? This is maybe just one step to start developing out that community with your clients by providing additional value that goes above and beyond than the product or service that you provide. And guys, we're not talking about crazy investment here. We're really not. All right, how many dealerships do I see out there saying, well, end of the month, $500 off every in-stock vehicle, $1,000 off of this inventory, $5,000 off of these cars? You know, hold on to that a little bit. Invest that into something that can develop out community and can bring more value to the customer. All right, guys, that is what I got for you today. I hope you guys got some value in that. Is that cool? Yeah. Cool? All right.
Let's give it over here for Jason Harris.
Thanks, guys.
Now, so just announcement, quick announcement. We know Blue Jays are starting to fill up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this dome's open.
That's actually one of the home runs that got hit in the game when Jason was rehearsing at one point.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I tinkled a little.
I know that the Raptors game's on tonight, so I just wanted to thank Jason because he has booked a room for everyone who wants the Raptors game.
Yes.
We'll have it live here too.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. The next little bit, we're going to, any questions? First of all, any questions for Jason? Besides,
yes,
how
sir.
amazing does it look?
Great presentation, Jason.
Thanks.
Your very first slide when we're talking about cluttered websites.
Yep.
Right? I completely agree with you. But I'd love to hear your perspective on Ling sells cars.
Sweet!
Ling sells cars.
Yes.
Look, I think any opportunity you have where you can relate with a customer, all right, through content, look, if you guys have an opportunity to educate or entertain your clients, do it. You know, here's a funny thing, just real quick on ads, okay? If I asked every single one of you guys, what was the last 4 text ads you saw in a search results? Probability is you couldn't remember a single one of those text ads, okay? If I asked you what were the last 4 display ads you saw, you might be able to recall 1 or 2 of them because visually we're a little more visual. But I asked all you guys, what were the last 4 videos you watch? There's an incredibly high probability that you're going to be able to tell me each one of those videos, what was in those videos, all right, what happened in those videos, and how it made you feel. Okay? So when it comes to content, when it comes to messaging, all right, any opportunity where you can invoke an emotion, any type of emotion, really, all right? If it's laughter, it's usually an easy emotion. I mean, this guy's literally a walking, talking laughter, right? If you can tug at the heartstrings, all right, or even if you can piss them off, all right, the brain's probability and ability to retain that information and recall it is huge. So you guys think about that. Think about real quick when you're marketing messages, are those messages evoking any type of emotions, all right, that can connect? But I do love that, though. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
If no one's go to lingsellscars.com.
So much fun.
In the UK, it's I had to guess what sex that person was, because I didn't know. The person's kind of packed.
But
and
you see,
the videos are funny.
They are.
And loud, and makes me look quiet.
Yes.
All right, so they're pretty good. That's a great. Check it out. It's awesome. Link sells cars.
But and the cool thing is, a clutter is a part of that brand for them. Like they just want to clutter with content. So
and
yes.
To go on to what Jason was talking about branding your dealership or doing something unique. Just some ideas that don't cost you $1,000 for a paddleboard. We do networking events. That's part of my side thing. I host networking events in the dealership. It's free space. I'm not using it at night anyway.
Oh, that's good. Space is a good one.
And we use it for introducing newcomers to programs, business for women at our dealership. We do free seminars on the car business in general. Like, why do you want to get into selling cars? This is some information you need to know whether you're going to apply for me at all. These are some ideas you can use to help promote yourself. Networking is an amazing way because you're bringing the community into your dealer, right? It costs you nothing, just maybe a case of water and a little bit of time, right? Also, interviewing your customers about your service experience, good or bad.
No, guys, it's true. I mean, there are ways of doing it. For some dealerships, not all, but for some dealerships, we do have a lot of space. okay, and being able to lend that space out to local events, local clubs, local community. That's a great also way just to provide additional value. Hey guys, real quick, if I could ask you guys, our video team has put so much time and effort into this, and my operations team put so much time to it. If you guys can put a big round of applause for these guys, 'cause they bust their ass off.
When is the next game changer?
The next one, gosh, we're already on it. It is July 24th, all right?
Who's speaking of that one?
That will be Brent Wees and
Joe Webb.
the man himself, Joe Webb, yes.
Joe's my mentor. He's freaking amazing. So I am in awe. I get to host that one again. If you guys want to see just a unique, different approach for a man that went to Second City Comedy to learn to improv in the car business, you got to be here for that.
Yeah, you guys got to check out his YouTube channel. It's really great. Okay, guys, here's what's going to happen now. We're going to break. Feel free to grab a drink, whatever you want. You can take drinks out to the lobby. We can't stay here. We can't stay out this. We do actually have to go all the way out to the lobby. Feel free to hang out there. They're going to rework the entire room. Then we're going to come back here, and we're going to watch the Blue Jays kick some ass.
Canada!
Don't go anywhere. Hey, Ben.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks, dude. That was fun. What are you looking for? Pictures.
kid.
Okay. All right. Yeah, picture of your kid. Get in here, guys.
Wasn't that game changer 9?
Yeah.
Boom.
Woo! Mario, thank you, man. Really appreciate you engaging there. Thank you so much. I saw your eyes pop a couple times. I saw a couple gears running around in the head. You guys still got drinks? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Let me get the couple people walked in at the last second.
What's John's last name?
Huh?
What's John's last name?
Ressureccion. I know. Yes, it's literally what it is. Oh, come on. Did you? Aw, man.
Just came in today.
You rock. Thank you. He's going to love it. He's gonna lose it. Hey, I'm Jason.
Stephanie.
Nice to meet you, Stephanie. I saw you come in at the last second. And this is your plus one?
Oliver, yeah.
Oliver, what's going on?
Oh, what's going on?
I'm
Great
Jason, man.
presentation.
Thanks.
Sorry I came late, man. That was
Oh,
awesome.
dude, like honestly, a lot of the guys came in late. Those are your
Really?
drink tickets, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, the traffic was crazy. How did you guys drive or did you guys Metro in?
I took TTC down, man. I parked at
Yeah.
the station up north.
Was it nuts or what?
It was bad. I actually went around it because I just couldn't wait anymore.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I went downtown Mills, which was a lot better.
Was it? Oh, okay, so that wasn't as bad?
It wasn't as bad, but that was like after I had already been sitting in the for as long as I had, so yeah.
Well, cool, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
yeah, thank you.
Mike, what's going on, brother? I know, that was fun, eh?
Yeah, man.
Guys, feel free, grab a drink. Yeah.
Good wrap up, man. Good wrap up.
And then, you guys, if you want to, stay afterwards for the Raptors game. Because, like, literally, if you're going to try to watch it anywhere else, good luck. It is going to be crazy. It's gonna, I know. Well, see, that's the other thing, too, right? Fucking $50 for parking. I'm like, what am I going to do? Park and I'll move down the street? Like, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you like that? That was good? You know, I know how well you execute.
So much.
Yeah.
Like my brain is on fire.
Oh, I know. I was like, Dan just was like bomb. I don't think he actually breathed, like at all. Like, I think he took one breath at the beginning of his hour and 15 minutes and then just went, woo! I was just like, his deck. Oh, man.
Every string is like, you're paying attention.
Yeah.
And everything is really good. I mean,
Yeah.
yours as well. You have to.
No, this was a great group of guys. It was a nice string
so
of.
much to change, though.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Where do you begin?
Well, that's why I highlighted just a few places because there are so many you can do. But out of the online and the in dealership and then that after sales, even if you just highlight just a couple of the things, It's little things that make the big ass difference.
And I honestly think.
And you already do some of this, I know you.
Yes, we're doing, yes. We've changed a lot in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
But I mean, when you throw so much at someone, and sometimes it backfires. Where
Yes.
he just actually doesn't do any.
Yes.
Because there's so much he has to change. He thinks, okay, I'm so far behind, I'm not going to even begin.
And that's why I finished off, like an idea is only as good as how well we can execute it. So it's like just, you know, here's what we actually used to do is we had I created a war room. So I didn't call it my boardroom, I called it the war room. And we had this big whiteboard on the war room, right? And on one side was all red lettering, and it was just all the things that we wanted to do, wanted to execute, wanted to get done. And on the other side it was green. And every time we went into the war room, it was like, okay, are we ready to move this from red to green? No, we're not. Okay, that's cool. In some cases, we actually had to take some of the stuff that was green and move it back to red because it just wasn't quite hitting the mark, you know? So it was like all those processes, all those things we wanted to change, we put them on the whiteboard, and every single war meeting, it was like we just had to review it. Because otherwise your brain will just go with just so much. Like you got to get it out of your head, you got to get it down.
You have to set goals and try to meet them, and it's not all at once. It's always one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, for sure.
Guys, I'm so glad you came. So, you guys gonna stay to watch the game, or?
A little bit of it.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
not the whole game.
Yeah. It's one of those things that either you stay or you leave early because it's gonna be a madhouse around here.
Yeah.
It is.
John Resurrection's brought merch here. If you want to see John about selling cars at candy bars,